Welcome back to Business Hats Podcast, the place where you will hear what it really takes to wear a business hat. 95% of businesses fail within 5 years because most underestimate how many hats they have to wear to make it to the top. On this podcast, we put successful business owners in the hot seat, ask them the hard questions, and expect honest answers. Today, my guest is Raymond Wendell Little. He has little in his name, but this guy is big player from Atlanta. He's a co-owner of Perimeter Roofing, large local leader roofing company in Atlanta, 40 million plus in revenue. We're gonna ask him how they got there, what did they have to do, because they only have been in business for 6 years. But first, let me introduce you to sponsor of this podcast. Today's sponsor is ProLine. ProLine is automated messages that don't look or feel automated. I have talked to many roofers across the country who share the same testimony. They pretty much says that ProLine have replaced or added employee to their team. It feels like having extra employee who will follow up on your estimates, invoicing, on your jobs. Anything you need follow up on, ProLine is your tool. Go to useproline.com, tell them that Dmitry have sent you. For just $300 a month, you can get full-time digital employee who will follow up on all your estimates. Now, let's get back to Raymond. All right, welcome back everyone to Business Hats Podcast. I have pretty big hat in the studio today. Raymond Wendell Little, man, what a story. This guy is so big. Local leader in Atlanta market. Raymond, let's start with your story. How did you get into roofing? What did you do before?
Right. So I basically got into roofing with one of my friends, Justin Simpson. He's still in roofing. He's actually working in Florida now. It's crazy because I was working at a place that lifts trucks, like a performance shop for cars.
I think I know Justin.
Yeah, you know. He's one of my good friends. I've been friends with him 20-something years. So he was they kept pulling the trucks in. I was over there putting the lift kits on and stuff. And I was like, man, dude, I gotta figure this out. Like, get me over on your team. So
what did you do before?
That's what I did. I was working on the trucks. Yeah, the trucks.
So you were
cars.
fixing his trucks.
Yeah, I was putting the lifts and stuff on, and the ladder racks and stuff like that on the trucks.
What attracted you to roofing?
Well, obviously they were doing a lot better than I was at that point in time. So, I kept seeing them come in. I see another truck come in to get a lift, and see another truck. I'm driving like a 2001 BMW station wagon with my bike rack on top. So
I see.
I was like, well,
Are you a car person?
I am a car person.
What's your favorite ride?
That I personally own right now? I do have a new Corvette, but it's hard to pick. I mean, the TRX is pretty well-rounded vehicle. So that's one of my...
That's Ram,
The
right?
Ram, yeah.
Ram product.
Yeah. So that's kind of my go-to on the weekends because I race mountain bikes. So you got the speed, the inside of them are nice, and I can put my bikes on the back, so...
All right. Describe to me first year in roofing. So you see these guys coming to you with the trucks. You're like, okay, they're loaded, and I'm here driving my BMW. What I'm doing wrong?
Right. Well, I knew Justin for years and years and years. So I was like, man, give me the opportunity, and he did. And I should have appreciated it. And we still talk to this day. So. Basically got over there, kind of got trained up by him, and now my business partner, Todd Price, they were part of the training me. But early on in it, I really didn't like to climb the roofs. The heights were getting to me, and then I was on a canvassing program. So how I got paid for my first 27 roofs was I got $100 a claim number, and then once it got approved, I got $250.
So is that what you expected? Was it better money?
Well, just, coming from working out, I was trying to sign. So that week I tried to sign 5 roofs because the next week I know they all get approved.
Okay.
So it was better money, in that aspect. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Where did you go from there?
So then I graduated from pretty much being a canvasser to being a sales rep. At that point in time, we were kind of just organically jumping out of the doors of those trucks. and knocking doors, and I figured out I didn't like knocking doors too much. So I went to Facebook right off the rip.
What do you mean on Facebook? Like
I started,
Facebook marketing?
Yep. Just straight off my page. No plan, no paid ads, no nothing, no anything. I went in my messenger and I messaged every person on my messenger list. And I said, hey, when's the last time you had your roof looked at? And basically, I never looked back since that point. I was building 2 roofs a day as a rep.
Wow. Did you ever overcome your fear of heights?
Oh, yeah. Well, my first paycheck. So then I was running up 1212s. It didn't even matter to me then. So, and this was before the Ridge Pros and the Goats and everything. So
big checks help with the fear of roofs.
Yeah, you just got to take that first step off the ladder. Then you'll figure everything else comes together. Then you just got to go.
Have you ever fall off the ladder?
No, never.
Have you overcome the fear or dislike of knocking doors?
I'll knock doors, and like if there's a build going on, my level of knocking doors is knock on the door and say, hey, excuse me for the noise. If you find any trash in your yard, or you run over a nail, or here's my card. By the way, Miss Smith got her roof replaced for hail damage. Let me know. And that's my sales pitch at the door.
That's all you do.
That's all I do. I'm not a big door knocker. Now we have some younger guys on the team.
Do you have canvassing team?
Yeah, we have quite a few canvassers.
So when did you start? What year was it?
2016.
2016. So only 6-7 years?
Yeah, 6.5 years ago. Yeah,
6 years. And today you're doing like 40 million a year. How big is your team?
About 80 reps. Probably
sales reps or
sales reps
canvassing.
Sales reps, probably about 71 reps and about 9 canvassers. But our canvassers are a little bit different than your average canvasser. So
how are you guys different? What's the difference?
Well, the biggest difference, I value the canvassers more, in my opinion. Now, our pay structure is obviously a 10-50-50 situation, but our canvassers are teamed up with other sales reps. We train them and put them on $1 million producers. But then, so not only they knock the door, they'll help the $1 million producing rep. They'll help them do the contract or watch the builder or stuff like that, and they get 25% commission. So the quality of canvasser, I feel like, is you get a higher quality of canvasser when you're paying a commission, not $100 a claim number.
I see. But still, you have 80 sales reps. You're doing 40 million a year. You want to have $1 million producers, but numbers say that your average is $500,000.
Yeah, $500,000. That's right.
We
have a couple $200,000-$300,000 people, kind of part time, or that's just enough for what they.
I see.
Everybody's pretty involved though. Some people sign a roof a day. Some people sign 2 or 3 roofs a day. Some people sign a roof a week. But some sign 2 a month. But
let's talk about Atlanta market. It's not a hail market. How are you getting so many wind?
Yeah, wind, and it is a little hail market. We got a couple of hail dates there, but it's nothing over an inch.
So most of your claims are wind claims.
It's a mix of the two. Knowing your product that's up there, knowing policy. Not putting your phone on the mantle when you get home and studying the industry, watching guys like you on YouTube. You don't need a lot of damage to get roofs approved. That's where everybody's got to get away from. And that's why I tell people, man, old man roofing's gone. Knowing the products, knowing the policies, knowing which way insurance is going, stay current in the industry is the key to success.
Do you see the trend that is getting harder or easier to get roofs approved?
We had a record year this year, so I'm going to say that the process is getting longer. It's not harder, though.
The process is getting longer,
That's
but
right.
It's not harder. What are they adding to the process?
The reinspection process is getting a little bit longer than denials on the first go around. So just telling the homeowner, hey, there's a good chance we're going to be out here more than once. Setting realistic expectations with the homeowner, saying, hey, you the first time you might get denied, but we're looking for that. So we're just trying to open up some type of coverage on the roof, and then we start working our magic with the knowledge that this team has.
You deal a lot with letter assist or third parties.
Yeah, I do. And I want to get away from that. I'm friends with a lot of ladder assist in the Georgia market, Alabama market, and Tennessee market. But we got to get back as a whole, as the industry as a whole, need to get back to having that adjuster on the property. That's where you're getting a lot of your denials. The ladder assist are making coverage decisions and they shouldn't be. A license, if they're not licensed, they don't need to write numbers on the roof. And that's where insurance is paying these guys $100, $150 to go climb these roofs and allowing them, if the contractor's allowing them to write the numbers on the roof, zero out roofs. Why are you zeroing out a roof? What license do you hold? Do you hold any license? As an adjuster on the property, are you sharing the pictures live? Don't write any numbers on that roof. I don't allow them to write numbers on the roof. So,
well, that's your pushback. How do they answer to that?
They call their managers and just say, hey, I said, if you're not licensed, you can't persuade a coverage decision. Is that correct statement? Well, yes. So I say, why are you writing numbers on the roof? Do you hold any license or certification whatsoever to zero this roof out? Or do you have the same license I have in my pocket, which is none? So we ask for a licensed adjuster to be on the property to make a coverage decision. So if not, we're just going through the motion.
How often does it take place, that scenario?
Well, we're getting it more and more now, but it's been a lot of pushback. But you got to think, you got about 70, 80 people preaching that in 3 or 4 different zip codes. So we're getting some traction. But as an industry as a whole, we need to get back to that model of having the licensed adjuster on the property to make a coverage decision.
So letter says they're not adjusters.
They're not licensed.
They're not licensed. So what's their business model in? I mean, so pretty much their incentive, inspect as many jobs as possible because
That's right.
They're getting paid by piece. So they're not
Glorified picture taker. They don't hold a license though. They're sending pixeled pictures over to an adjuster through an email in another state. Well, how's that fair for the homeowner? You're not on the property to even see the condition of the roof. You're getting a condition in the comments, handwritten in the comments.
Is Matsky big in Atlanta?
They are, but we don't see them.
You don't see them.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're relevant. They are relevant, but I haven't seen a Mad Sky in a while.
What about drone inspection? Do you see any roofing, any insurance carriers trying to inspect roofs with the drones?
Here's where we're at with the drones. As far as this is how I train my team now. If you can fly it, we'll mark it up. You can fly a drone, but if it's not approved, we need to get up there. I mean, just to be honest. I mean, you can't do a brittle test from a drone, right? So,
but do insurance companies trying to go that route?
Oh yeah, like I said, and I'll let them fly the drone. But if we get a denial, then you can't feel the bruising of the shingle. What they want to say in HAG, it has to be the matting has to be fractured. How's the drone feeling it? So if it's approval, we're good to go. If the drone doesn't give us approval, then we got to do a reinspection.
What's the story about your famous YouTube video with a homeowner? Because you tried. So now let's talk about the brittle test. So you have adjuster there, and he denied.
Yeah. So
brittle test.
Yeah. So this is the first time I really get to probably say what really happened on the video is we were there on a reinspection process. Another contractor did call that roof in. And we got it on the reinspection because they couldn't get it bought.
Was it hail damage or wind damage?
Primarily wind. Yeah, it was about 70 wind creased or missing shingles on the property. So that was a 16-year-old, 20-year 3-tab. The homeowner had been there since it was new construction. It was insured by State Farm the whole time from brand new they moved in till that day there. And that homeowner had been with State Farm for 51 years. So I went out there, did attempt to repair, and then sent that in. They sent Jeff, which is now famous, sent Jeff out there to meet me to watch me do the attempt to repair. So I show up. We're walking up the roof. Jeff is up there in front of me. Jeff reaches right up there and picks up one shingle and breaks the corner on it. I said, well, we're done here, aren't we? He's like, what? No, that don't count. I said, hold on, that don't count. How doesn't that count? I mean, that we're done here, and then that's when the video started, because I said, "Hey, man, we're gonna have to video this. I'm gonna do the attempted repair while we video it, since you're not admitting you broke that corner of that shingle." So before the video had started, he broke a corner off a shingle, that one that was like I keep pointing to.
Did homeowner see it?
Nah, and the homeowner was named Jeff too. So we had two Jeffs and me. But no, he was standing in the yard, but he couldn't really see what happened. But he seen me say, "Man, you broke that corner. Like, we're done," you know. And so that's where it all started. And he just wasn't. I mean,
how did the story end? Did State Farm buy that roof?
So here's what happened with that. They lawyered up the day after.
Did he try to take a video down?
No, nobody ever contacted me. I'm with State Farm. I got 2 houses and 5 autos with them. So that's even crazier, yeah. But no, never a pushback. I mean, I'm good friends with my agent. There was never anything, no pushback or anything like that from State Farm or anything. There's a lawsuit on that. That policy's a little. I mean, that demographic of the homeowners a little bit different. It's actually a same-sex marriage, 2 men on the same policy. So they went a different angle, which I'm gonna have to agree with them on. I mean, I think they were getting discriminated against at some
I see.
some capacity, because, like I said, they're the last one in the whole neighborhood to get done. There's 33 shingles that aren't even on that property anymore. Wow. They've been gone, and it's been insured by State Farm the whole time. There's no repairing the roof. So they snatched it off. We tore it down. They wrote a check for it, and the lawyers has got it. And I think they're going a whole different route with it, as far as.
But the roof got approved?
We took it off. We didn't follow it any longer. The lawyer told them to go ahead and take it off, and filed suit on State Farm like almost immediately.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because there was some other stuff prior to us getting involved. Like I said, like I'm not a roofer. I'll roof anything, but I'm just saying I believe they got discriminated against too. Like I said, the policy, has 2 men on the.
Sure.
I think somebody might have tainted that situation for them and made it a little. I mean, there's 33 missing shingles on a house that you could blow the granules off of. We all know it's not repairable, and we know Jeff just was like a robot. So.
How often does that happen? Like that scenario where it's obvious?
That happens a lot. So that one just happened. He just didn't give up. A lot of them will just give up and leave. But yeah, I mean, they're pushing back even more. I mean, more and more and more, and they're making the process longer. We've seen the smaller roofing companies, they're running a little bit dry because the process is going a little bit longer. How
do you explain insurance adjusters argument? Because when I go to insurance adjusters groups, or I have a lot of content on a channel on disputes between stormer, like contractors, and adjusters. And adjusters always come in comments, commenting that it doesn't make sense. We get paid when we see the damage. This is how we get paid too. And why wouldn't we want to approve if there's a damage?
Well, that's the IA side of it. Independent adjuster gets paid per component or what they write. So
who was Jeff?
Jeff was a staffer.
Okay, so yeah. That's the problem?
Yeah, that was the problem on that one. Jeff was sitting out there. He wasn't going to ever. I mean, he walked straight up the roof and broke the corner off the shingle. That's perfect example.
So he's probably getting incentives on denials.
On denials, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Definitely. I mean, the energy there was a lot to deny that roof. I mean, I get that as contractors try to push a lot of claims through, that we believe in, obviously that there's collateral damage or this or that, or there's a recent hailstorm and, we're marking blisters or whatever. But, yeah, Jeff was sent by staff. I do feel honestly to believe to deny that claim no matter what happened on that one. He was like a repeating robot. But yeah, so IAs are more incentivized on writing the claim. That's just common knowledge. And then staffers, we're seeing more and more staffers where they're, just denying. And the first thing they're saying on the roof, just go to appraisal.
I see. Chicago and Atlanta, in my book, are almost on the same level. So only 2 markets in the United States that I hear a lot of stories about contractors making the damage.
No, that's a true statement.
You know what I mean? And as a matter of fact, I even seen comments about perimeter roofing. People accusing you guys are doing it. What's your answer to that? How big is the problem in Atlanta, and what can we do about it? And
The problem in Atlanta.
what would you do if you caught your sales guy, Crispin?
They're going to have to go. I mean, I'm not going to let them, ruin a $40 million, machine to get on the news because they're trying to get a 20 square 3-tab bought. But basically with us, like I said, that we got that claim from another contractor, but we basically go after steep and high architectural. There's very few 3-tabs that we go after, and I train the guys. If you're on a 3-tab, keep your hands in your pocket, go walk the valley, go to the ridge, look, do one overview, and come back down. I mean, there's not any money in. There's hardly any 3-tabs left, but Atlanta, the pay where you get paid at is the steep and high architectural shingles. So, but 3-tabs, I mean, they're usually low slope, single story stuff. So we're not targeting those. We always tell the canvassers the doors are all the same size, but the roofs aren't. So knock accordingly.
I see.
Yeah, we only want steep and high architecturals, basically.
Got it.
But we will take the low-hanging fruit over 3-tab. But you should almost be able to sign a 3-tab from the road.
Pretty much.
You know?
I mean, damage usually visible too.
Yeah, 12 years. A 20-year 3-tab will last about 12 years in Georgia. I mean, it's hot down there. So we have, everything in Georgia starts off wet in the morning too. So as the sun creeps up and it goes from, 60-degree wet morning to 108 degrees, it's hard on the roofs. That's why there's 3,500 roofing companies in Georgia. But what I think we need to do, and what we and 9 other companies are trying to do, is make it, where you have to have a license. Everybody should be licensed in Georgia. This is just my opinion. I know some people.
So you are for government regulation?
100%.
Because so many people push back on it. Every time I say, like, we need more regulation, people are like, no, why would you? But
no,
when you don't have regulation, it's a mess.
You need, and we talk with, we're talking with government officials now, trying to get it regulated. You should have to have a license number to order materials to drop it in the driveway. You shouldn't be able to get a $100, $150 LLC and be able to order materials for a $80,000 roof, the next week. It needs to be licensed. It needs to be regulated, and the supply house needs to have a license number connected to your invoice to order and drop materials.
So you mentioned 9 companies. What is it, like some kind of alliance?
Yeah. So I run a group called Atlanta Roofing Union, and I'm friends with a lot of other owners too. I'm not like, owners call me all the time and hey, we got this one, can you do this one, or can you help me with this one, or vice versa. Or if I have one down in South Georgia, I'm not going, I'm gonna send it to one of my other friends, that's an owner. But yeah, there's about 9 companies that we'd team up with and want to try to lobby to get that done. Also, if you make it a licensed skilled trade, right? What's going to happen then? The price per square is going to go higher, right? Because it's a licensed skilled trade. Mm-hmm. So I think once you have to have a license, right, and you have to, there's not so many people out there doing it. I think the price per square is going to go to $600 to $900 a square.
Do you have any volunteer licensing? Right
Yeah,
now?
we have everything. We're licensed in Florida right now, Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana. Maybe South Carolina. I don't know.
How does that compare to Atlanta? I don't know how you guys do it. Like, for those of you who don't know, I spent 6 years in Atlanta, from 2006 to 2013. Actually, was in flooring business back then. I cannot stand the 400. I was living in Covington, Georgia, I-20, and I left 5:45 every day for 2 years. And
every day.
6:45, I'm in downtown.
Yeah, any of my Facebook friends know that I'm up about 4:30 every morning. I mean, you just got to leave.
It's a must.
It's a must. Yeah, you have to. If you want to be ahead of the competition, I mean, we're dropping materials on jobs. Like I said, what we build, and we talked about what we our production every week. I'm making sure that the sales guys at the job, materials at the job, and also that the crews at the job every morning on GroupMe. But yeah, dude, it's about an hour and a half between every roof.
I mean, go to the grocery store. It's like 30 minutes.
30 minutes
just to get there.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it's bad.
And it's getting worse and worse.
It's getting worse. That's what I'm saying. It's not getting better, but you know what that means. Like you said, you're sitting in traffic and you're looking around. You're in a big lifted truck and you're looking around and it's a pain in the butt. But you know what? You look and say, well, every one of these people live up under some type of roof. So that keeps you positive and motivated, you know.
I see. How does it compare to Florida, or like what's the best market in your opinion?
In my opinion, Nashville is the best market. I have a great group of guys there. I have an awesome business partner in Nashville.
Not Florida?
Tennessee.
No, not Florida.
I don't like Florida. Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of Florida.
But you guys work there.
We do work there, Sarasota area.
What's wrong with Florida?
Man, just I mean, there's a lot of different things. Nothing's ever available. The supply houses aren't as responsive. I have a good, it's hard to beat my situation I have in Atlanta, where we have almost a whole warehouse that's ours. And they, we're a smaller footprint in the Florida market, so we don't get treated with the royalties that we do in Georgia. But I mean, just the whole process, man. Everything goes illegal. Everything, you can't say this, you can't say that. You got to be careful educating the homeowner on different, options you go. And it's the same thing. You take pictures, you get off, it's denied, it goes illegal. So that opens up the door, like me and you were speaking about in the truck. It opens up the door for the stack and starve model that Florida has been known for. I just don't think Florida is sales rep friendly. I think it's more owner friendly. And obviously, I'm out still climbing roofs every day and operating as a owner sales rep. It just kind of takes. I think it just kind of takes the hustle out of it. It's more of a long-term hustle.
Long-term hustle. I mean, you almost have to live there, be part of the community.
Yeah, or you need to be there, and that's what Florida. I mean, they're doing what they want to do, right? I mean, they want their contractors to be there in that hometown.
What do you think about insurance situation in Florida? All these insurance companies going out of business.
Well, I think if you Google a lot of it, like UPC with the RICO case against them, all those other, I don't know, man. That's what I'm saying. There's just so much going on with it. I mean, if you don't have to roof in Florida, I don't know. If you're doing good, right? If you're up here in Minnesota and you're doing good, if you're in Georgia doing good, if you're in Texas doing good, why are you running to Florida anyway? I mean, I don't get it. That's what we had a group when the hurricane.
I think Florida attracts people generally. Like you feel like on vacation. You go there. Like every time I open in Florida, right? Because of the, if you're in Minnesota, you work 8 months out
right.
of 12.
You have. So, I mean, you kind of need to, right?
That's what we did. But I can't work in Florida. The moment my plane lands, I want to have a drink. I want and I'm not a beach guy. Like I don't care. But it's the mood and everything. It's paradise. Working in paradise is hard.
And I think with the roofing industry, I think you get the more of the carny rep that hey, if you already have so just look at it this way: if you're killing it in Minnesota, or you're killing it in Georgia, or you're killing it wherever you flew, New Jersey or whatever, and you had a whole pipeline when the hurricane left. I don't think you'd be running to Florida. So I think you're getting more of the carny rep that, what are you leaving? Are you leaving 16 jobs ready to get built and 25 ready to get paid on or whatever? I mean, what's the quality of rep that's willing to relocate? I don't know, I mean, I know guys that are killing it down there. I know, I know some big guys that are killing it down there, but they're more mature, invested in the situation, like Matt Spanton, Kurt Linnington, all them guys. I mean, they're going to kill it, But I mean, but
it's also true expansion. It's like once you grow to a certain size, you have to tap in new markets.
Right, and then that's the same reason we ran down there too, But like I said, if you got good leadership down there, and I think the storm will make or break some people. I also think that you got some heavy hitters down there to stay and can rotate their people in and out, and will pay them right. But like I said, with the last storm in 2018, I mean, what everybody was suing the owners and everything else, still stack and starve. So we got to do, as owners, we got to do a better job on paying these guys the right way, and then Florida won't have all those laws where everybody's getting ripped off, homeowners, reps, everything. I mean, it's just a bad energy for me. I mean, just being honest,
Love it. So you're doing $40 million a year. As we're driving, we actually took a couple of calls, talked to a few people, and give me your rant about perfect business size. Like 40 million. If you would start over today, would you try to rebuild as big of the company, or would you go smaller? What's the perfect business size?
I mean, I think everybody's going to go through their growing pains. We've had a lot of reps 2 times, and we currently have a lot now. Man, I honestly, like me and you were talking about, if you had maximum 15 to 20 guys that were heavy hitters, I think that's as big as you need to go, and you need to invest in those guys. That's where I'm at now, and I'm 6 years into it, $110 million into the roofing. My top 20 guys, they're awesome. I mean, the lower 40 are awesome too.
Your top 20 probably produce as much as lower 60.
That's right. So that's what I'm saying. So at 45 years old, you kind of got to pick your evils, and I've did well in roofing. I've made a lot of sacrifices, you know what I mean? Not being none of my kids' stuff and stuff like that. 12, 14-hour days, failed relationships, everything else, what comes with it. Which I'm an awesome one now, though. She's awesome. But I think, like you said, 15, 20 guys tops, 5 or 6 heavy hitters, one-man show. But, like I said, I have 2 main business partners and I have a couple market owners, and it takes all of us to do the 80 million. And what me and you did the math, and you probably could do it. You probably make the same thing off 10, 15 good guys,
So doing less is doing more. As you were talking about it, I was thinking about even YouTube game. I was at a YouTube conference last year in LA, and Daryl Eves, the founder, he gives advice to YouTubers. And, YouTubers make content, every week, like 3-4 videos and stuff. But it's what kind of content you should be making, because we also, spread too thin and stuff. And Casey Neistat, like really famous guy, I think like 12 million subs. And he said, if you look at his channel, he said, he has hundreds and hundreds of videos. But he said that his top 10 videos accounted for 80% of his views on the channel.
That's right.
So, so as a YouTube coach, he said that you have to identify. So let's say you have one video that has 10 million views. You can make 100 videos that has 100,000 views, or you can learn from that one video. And what else can you do? Like you have a video right now, like that's your content, like it's, went viral. You can do more of that content. But what people don't understand is they instead of focus on what works and invest in it and double down in it, they keep doing something that they shouldn't be doing.
Right.
And then you waste so much energy. I mean, people think, I hear it a lot, that it's a numbers game. Not really. It is a numbers game, and you have to know your numbers. But if you really study numbers, you will see, like you said, your top 15, 20 people produce 80% of people, right? 80% of your revenue. So is it really worth to deal with the 60 people who produce last 20? I mean, it probably is, but you have to fine tune it.
So here's basically what I figured out now, and I've just figured this out towards the end of this year. Replicating winners. So leading by example, my own self. Right, I always sell at least $1 million a year. I've sold 2 million before in a year, and I sold 2 million when the roofs were $8 or $12 a piece. They weren't $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 a piece. So replicating winners, those 15, 20 top guys are replicating winners, right? So here's what I figured out now. The best business model now is to go. So you take your top 20 guys, you got your bottom 40, or this is whatever. You need to run them up under those top 20 and team them up. So there's still growth within inside the company, right? They're already winners. They're replicating winners. So you team them up under those, and then whatever doesn't make it, needs to kind of just fall by the waistline. Like you said, don't go out and look, help your guy that's selling 3 or 4 roofs a week. Size, you're running rampant around to somebody that sells 1 roof a month. So if you run those guys up under the top 20 guys and you give them an override on them, right? And you invest in canvassers, you invest in, digital marketing, you invest in leads, you invest in, and focus on your top 20 and let them build the teams up under them. They're already winners. You already replicated yourself, right? That's why I tell other owners too. You're mad about your results, but you replicated your guys, right? So could you live, like, I know we talked on the way here, if you had 10 of you'd have a good roofing company, right?
Of course.
Right, same thing. If I have 10 of me, which I have a bunch of me, because all those guys are equal to me or better than me in sales. But that's where some of these roofer companies are failing. You got to invest in those top 20 guys and let them build teams up under them because they're already you've already replicated winning, right? And they're replicating winning. So you don't have, one person doesn't have time to run 70, 80 people. But those 20 top guys that you done replicated to be winners, they do. You can round the other 40 to 50 out.
Who makes good sales rep and where to find good sales rep?
I think that's a tricky question. I really think it's through people that had some hardships in life.
Hardships.
Yeah, I think you get
diversity.
Yeah. I think the street university, some type of other hustling or don't want that comfort. Used to not have being that comfort because the salary is a comfort, right? The people that want to make 800 to the when a rep comes in and say I need a signing bonus, okay, well you should already had money if you've been in roofing,
Wow.
right? That's where I'm at with that.
I like it. So that's entitlement filters out right away.
Let me see your AccuLinks. Let me see your Job Nimbus. Let me see whatever your Sales Rabbit or whatever that is. Let me see that. What have you did the last 3 or 4 years? You know what I mean? If you need $5,000 to come in sitting here, I'm about to make you $200,000, $300,000 a year as a member of this team, right? And you want me to pay you $5,000. What do you think a cup of coffee is worth being on my team, sitting here riding in my truck? Everybody, the last 15 people that called my phone all made 6 figures, but you want me to pay you $5,000 to come in here? I mean, that's crazy.
It is. But there's also a lot of complacency happening. What I found that people who've done big numbers in the past, like a lot of times cannot duplicate it because they have a taste, maybe low-hanging fruit, and they are not willing to do the grind work. They go and work 1 year, kill it, make $200,000.
Yeah.
Come to Minnesota, for 2-3 months, have 300 claims, easy money, right?
Right.
But they cannot replicate it in market like Atlanta because it's a grind.
It's a different breed. The roofs aren't laying in the yard or they held it not the side and off the side of the house.
But they're also not willing to adjust. And so they stuck with it. Like, I made 150, like I'm not going to accept less.
Right.
But they don't understand that to do that, you have to produce volume,
They're entitled.
value.
They're prima donnas. They're entitled. I see them all the time, and they jump.
How do you deal with it?
Well, the culture here at Perimeter Roofing doesn't fit them because you got to be a real animal to come in here and knock Jared or Shannon or Chad Thurman off the top. They're selling up to $2 million.
And they do it consistently
every year. Every year, $1 million, $1 million. They're hitting $1 million.
What is it? Is it just doing the work?
It's doing the work, the branding. We the branding at our company's really well, and it matches their energy. So we spend about $500,000 a year on marketing.
Love it.
And we just now started. I meant to talk to you. Me and you were both on calls on when. We're doing in-house marketing. I've actually invested my own money into lead gen, having an in-house lead gen, in-house call center, in-house mailing.
Billboards, radio?
No.
What works best for you?
What works best? Right now, we're so organic now. I mean, we drive in, off Facebook. And, Facebook is what made this company. I'm going to be completely honest.
Still?
The first 2 years, we did nothing but Facebook. I think we did $16 million just off Facebook, not even a paid ad.
Wow.
But, it still works for us today.
How many jobs your video generated?
A lot of re-inspections. Yeah, a lot of re-inspections. But a lot of people like that. We'll go to bat for them. And we tell the homeowners every time, the way insurance has moved into roofing, you're going to be out here more than once. It's going to be a 6 to 9 week process. So if you're not willing to do that, we won't even sign the roof. It's not worth it to me. They're going to give up after the first time. We know that the insurance companies, they figured, look, we push back. We're going to save, I don't even know. We'll run the numbers after this year. You figure out what they save. You see all the little men going under. So
I absolutely love it. Like, here's what I want to share with you guys. I get some hate over have you seen Chad Wilson debate with Steve Badger? Like,
I've seen a little bit.
So when I do debates or when I, John Howe telling other lawyers and stuff, some roofers are just bitter towards it. Like, oh, what does it matter? Why do we call out these companies, right? And I always tell people this, like, and you're a great example of it. Insurance companies are spending so much on advertising, truly brainwashing people. Because if you hear, the same message hundreds of times, you start believing it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's Coke, Pepsi, or I don't know, FTX.
Oh, yeah.
Or you hear it enough times, you start believing it. Now, what do we have to combat? You can make one TikTok. You can have one video that, hey, if your roof got denied, get a reinspection. Now we brainwashing them.
Right.
Now we have, and it's free. Like TikTok
Right.
algorithm or YouTube Shorts algorithm is amazing because you will get 6-7 million views on argument with insurance adjuster. I mean, think about what 6-7 million of views will do to roofers. Maybe not to me, maybe not to you, but it will generate hundreds of calls, thoughts, engagements with the homeowners. So it's our fight back. It freaking works. And sooner or later, and this is my prediction, big corporations, insurance corporations will have to react because once you lose the media game, once someone's calling you out, you have to make decisions on the highest level. Are we going to change how we operate? Like, what are we going to do to stop this negative publicity? Because they know that nobody is too big to fail. Look at the politicians, right? They
Right.
resign over like little scandal.
Right.
I mean, if State Farm has hundreds of videos out there, shaming and exposing their adjusters, sooner or later, they will have to change the policy. Hey, we cannot do this. We cannot keep, because, when people, like, here's what's going to happen. People going to, and they already demand cancellations of their policies, changing insurance. It's a numbers game for them. When State Farm will see on the report that 1,800 homeowners in 2022 canceled their policy because what they've seen on TikTok,
Right.
or whatever,
Right. Yeah.
they're gonna make a decision.
It's the biggest thing too. So a homeowner, now I'm 45 years old. I don't know how you are, but so if you go to, it's weird because I go to a lot of homes. I actually train the guys in the field. So I'm going to a lot of different, homes, either $2 to $3 million, $500,000. Well, every home now is at least 250. If it's a single wide trailer in the middle of nowhere, it's 250,000. But what I'm seeing now is when you're talking to homeowners that are 55 and over, they think their homeowners insurance is the best thing ever. They say, well, I haven't had a claim in 45 years, or I haven't had a claim in 26 years. I said, well, I'm sorry. You probably paid for a lot of stuff you shouldn't have because you're paying into a policy. Understanding the policy per different income levels of homes and demographics and people, I think is huge. And I think social media is exposing them, like you just said. I totally agree with you. I can be at a $5 million home in Chateau Lawn, the Legends, one of the nicest neighborhoods in Georgia. And I can say, hey, I think we can get this approved. This was probably about $106,000, $107,000. I don't have to say no more. They say, hey, do you want to call them now, or do you want me to call them on my own? I can be at another neighborhood with cookie cutter homes, stacked all on top of each other. Every one of them has damage. You'll have to beg that homeowner to call it in.
Why is that?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. Because it's understanding the policy. I think insurance agents spend more time with that, which they shouldn't. I'm not sitting there saying they should, but I think they spend more time explaining the policy because that person has more property or more belongings than to that person at the $200,000 to $450,000 range. So I think that they understand their policy more than the cookie cutter homes because, like I said, me and you could, if you're ever in Atlanta, we could go.
But you have to be careful to talk about policy.
Yeah, you have to be real careful about that. You can talk about my policy. I talk about my policy. I'm with State Farm.
I see.
So I talk about my policy.
Smart. I like it.
Yeah. So I say, I'm not sure. I have a renter's policy, because I have rental homes too. So I say, hey, on my rental policy with State Farm, it's this, this, and this. But my personal home policy reads this. Could that be the case with Ms. Smith? So
Of course.
Right, and I have a paralegal degree too, so I already know. I mean, I did. That's why I try to tell people I don't even get on 3 tabs. I did $110 million worth of insurance work in Georgia in 5 years, so I am careful about what I say. Up there.
What's the most underrated marketing these days in 2022? Because everything has changed in the last couple of years like crazy.
Man, I keep trying to. I preach it to these people that have been in it way longer than me. That are still straddling that fence of not really killing it and just barely making it. Old man roofing's gone, man. We got to get with people like you. You got to get with digital marketing. It's not yellow pages and white pages no more. Roofing is in a swing of turn of things. I mean, it's live. Everybody loves to do it. You'll see somebody go out there and kill it 2 years, and now they're going to be a life coach. That's where roofing's at right now. So you're it's not mom and pop no more. You know, it's you got to get with the digital marketing. You gotta have the software. You got to do the SEO. You got to do the pay per click. You got to do the presses. You got to have the canvassers. You know, you got to buy the leads. You need to do lead gen. You're gonna have to have the Hell Recon or Hell Trace or whatever. You're gonna have the Spotio. You got to have all that. We have all that. So you the benchmark, the reports. You're gonna have to spend the money. It's no more.
You have to grab their attention.
You have to grab their attention. Videos, content, huge social media. I mean, this whole company is built off social media. The whole company is built off. The first 2 years.
Facebook is your number one.
$16 million off Facebook in sales. Didn't do anything else.
Last year.
The first 2 years.
Wow.
$40 million this year, 25 last year, but basically off Facebook. Facebook and like a landing page, but going live and video content and everything, and blasting it, aggravating people on Facebook. You know, they see. We know you do roofs, you know, because they'll see it posting 3 or 4 times a day.
As long as they remember you.
Well, I look at it like this. Yep, your scrolling bot can save you 20 to 40 grand for your roof. So just remember me.
I think one of the biggest problems in the roofing industry now so there's 2 types of owners. One is ultra successful, and I don't want to call them losers, but like wannabe successful, right? So they have LLCs. They have company names. They have cool logos. They enrolled everywhere. And both groups will be on a Facebook.
That's right.
Right? But top group, the successful guys, they observe, they listen, and they learn. And I would say it's probably top 5%. And this 95%, they argue, they fight, they waste time, they consume the content. This group consumes but almost never engages, like rarely. But they consume, analyze, but lower 95%. And it's the weirdest thing. They spend the most time, but for some reason, and I don't get it, they're not willing to turn that camera on and actually create content themselves. And I tell people all the time, if you're consuming, if you're spending 3 hours on a Facebook, do not tell me you don't have 1 hour to actually upload something. Because you're going to become so much better at Facebook, YouTube, whatever, when you actually start producing content. You want to become a YouTuber? You make hundreds of YouTube videos.
Right.
And they will suck at first. So you still keep consuming them. But when you consume and you create, you consume differently.
Right.
Like I'm on the Facebook.
Yeah.
But I'm learning. Like you have to, but then you see the idea and it's like, okay, I'm gonna answer to that, or I'll do the right. But it's not a comment. It's not it's actually content.
Right. The same thing is that those, or you're talking about your people here. They're doing exactly what you say. The people here, they're gonna spend 3 hours on Facebook. They're not putting the content on there. They're usually arguing about politics or trying to run half their customer base off anyways. It's the same person, dude. It's the same. It's the same. They'll be on another page arguing about, you know, Biden or Trump or whoever, Stacey Abrams, whoever. I don't know whoever up here, but they'll spend 3 hours of doing that and think that they're doing something positive for the community. And like you said, they'll argue with you about going live or putting content on the page. It's the same mind. It's a mindset.
100%. I want to share something with you because I feel like we're gonna get some hate here too. So you have 80 reps. We have Aaron Bible. He's doing like 50 million a year, and so he has also like 80. It was my second episode of Business Hats podcast. And I think I have like 5 comments. The only thing that people remember from the interview, I think he said they have 80 builds a week, and he has 80 salespeople. And they're like, numbers don't match up. Like numbers, you know, how do you have 80 sales reps and you only do 50 million, right? Math does not, like, that's the only thing they took.
Yeah.
He's been in business for like 3 years. The guy is absolutely killing it.
Yeah, he's killing it.
It's not taking down payments.
Right.
Super confident. I mean, insanely profitable company, right? And I'm pretty sure we're going to get some hate here.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So roofers, for some reason...
Then you know you're doing something right.
Yeah,
and you get the hate, though.
Instead of trying to learn something, adopt, they want to question and be skeptical about it to justify that what they're doing is right.
Right.
It's like, I'm sitting here, I'm a $2 million company. I'm doing it right, and they're doing 50 million a year with 80 reps. Math doesn't edge. Like, no, ask yourself how they're doing it.
Right, exactly. I mean, like I said, and there's two different models here. If you're doing $2 million and that fits your lifestyle, then that's good for you. You are doing it right. I'm trying to do 100 million though.
But they're watching you. For some reason they're listening to the interview.
yeah. They're watching here and they want to critique it. Well, if he did this, if he did that, if he did this, well, until you walk in those shoes.
And that's the difference between successful and I mean, if you really want to ask yourself, why do you consume that content? I'm intentional about everything. If I'm watching CrossFit, it's because I want to be weight heavier.
You're watching the world championships, figuring out what you need to do.
I'm not trying to figure out okay, he's number one, he's probably on steroids.
Yeah, you don't start hating on him. No, you're trying to figure out how to get number one.
Exactly.
That's the same two different types of people.
Exactly.
That's the same person that sees you sitting in the you're in traffic in a Ferrari and they're just sitting there just glaring at you and you catch them. That's the same type of person. You're never going to grow. Like I said, I have mentors in this industry. Like I said, Justin trained me, Todd trained me, top-notch guys in the industry. I look up to, the other big heavy hitters like Matt Spanton, Kurt Lennington. I mean, there's some monsters out here that are doing it better. I don't sit there and look at them and say, well, I'm doing 50 million. I probably could have did 100. No, they're great. They're great at what they do. And they're smart enough. Those four guys too are smart enough to also know that what they're not good at, they can hire somebody because they have the funds to hire that person to complement that relationship to get them to 100 million. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm, you're not the smartest person in the room. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room, right?
100%.
Yeah, and you should be able to hire the other person,
What's more important, sales or marketing?
I think in the first 5 years of roofing, marketing is more important to brand yourself, unless you're chasing storms. If you're chasing storms and you're running sets up under other people's license and stuff, sales is the biggest thing. If you're trying to be a household name and trying to be, here for 20 years in the cities that you open up in, I think marketing's the long game, right? The long game. Yeah, if me and you just said, hey, I'm tired of Minnesota, I'm tired of Georgia, and we're going to go do this, and we're going to go run a set in Illinois. I mean, obviously sells the most, but if you're going to forever be in Minnesota and I'm forever in Georgia, we need to brand ourselves better there. I think marketing is that's the organic algorithm look for long term, and I think just straight, if you want to be that carny action, that straight storm chasing, running a moving carnival party, I think sales is just numbers. And, I mean, every time you hear about somebody running the storm too, you hear about, I left 62 jobs there and I didn't get paid on none of them. Some people legit didn't. I get it, right? But if that keeps happening to you, who's the problem? Who's the common denominator? Same thing. If one guy's been at 5, 6, 7 roofing companies, and 3 of the roofing companies are legit, don't take that guy on your team. He's just going to bring cancer.
Yep. I have a guy right now in my DMs who want me to share his story. We've been with 10 companies. Everybody abused him, mental abuse, every single one.
Yeah,
of them.
Man. I know people got. I know some people have gotten a bad shake, but I mean, you start got to do some inner growth and say, hey, man, I need to put my healthy boundaries at this next roofing company and realistic expectations from what the company is there to do for me and what I'm there to do for the company, right? At the end of the day, you can't, victim mentality, in 2022, about to be 23, is running rampant. You know what I mean? We all have our sad stories, in the past, like, what were you doing before roofing, this and that. Yeah, I get it. But I think so many people are feeding off the victim mentality that I just look at today, and at Perimeter Roofing the last 5 years, and that's it. There's no more victim mentality. Move forward. If the last company was a bust for you, put up healthy expectations, run your jobs, collect your checks. Then how can you be abused or anything? Do what you're supposed to do. But I feel like after your third company, then we got to start looking at you. Now that legitly, I think some people got bad shake 2, 3, 4 times, especially in Florida.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
What's your take on 4-hour work week per se? Because I don't think people actually read Tim Ferriss' book. They just read the title, 4-hour work week. And, so many salespeople out there, they want to work less. They want to get paid more. And I always say, if the most successful people in my circles, just my life observation, are the hardest working people. Like for me, if you don't work 40 hours a week, I'm like Elon Musk. Like I have to put 60, 70 hours. And for me, it's not all work. Like, I mean, trust me, I have downtime, like, but it's still like 6 to 6 at least. And then it doesn't, like, that's where I'm happy. Why so many people want to work less and get paid more?
That's because we could probably have a whole show on this, but this whole idea of balance, what's balance? So balance for me is working 60 hours a week, and then the rest of the time I'm training with my son or racing mountain bikes. You, same thing. You work, you put out your content, you're busting ass, you're doing everything. Then you do CrossFit, your cold plunging, your sauning, your self-care. Those reps or those owners, they think that they're going to put in 8 hours a day and then go drink, sit on the couch, and be unproductive. That's low energy. That's just low energy. I think if you want to kill it. Put 12 hours a day in. Then when your downtime, your balance time needs to be productive too, and watch your numbers change, dude.
Your top producers, you have guys who are selling $1.5 million, $2 million a year. How many hours per week they work?
Probably 70.
70 hours.
Probably 70. I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, sure. during the peak time, I mean, it's sun up to sundown. And then also that culture, if you just go online and look at that list, that culture, what you see that's posted outside of roofing is also their downtime, their balance time is still positive, productive energy. They're in the gym, they're eating right, they're taking care of themselves, they're a high performance, high energy, hyper focused individual. That's the difference at Perimeter Roofing than at Joe's Roofing, or I don't want to say nothing wrong because they'll hammer me, or cancel culture me or do whatever. But
sure.
But yeah, I mean we just had some guys leave and go to it with another. It's a whole different situation. But all them drinking problems, low energy, on their off time, sitting around. There's no positive lifestyle. At our company, I show up to a mountain bike race. There's 4 other guys and girls that are selling, and they're racing 30 miles too with me. With Perimeter Roof, you know what I mean? We show up at a 5K. There's like 10 of us. The gym, Todd has like 40 gym memberships for people at the thing. So we it's not just roofing here. I probably could take this team here and go sell peepholes and still do millions because it's a mindset. It's not about roofing no more. This team here is a well-seasoned old machine, but we're not just selling roofs and going home and getting hammered on our boats or doing whatever, and having wild parties and DUIs and all that. You won't be here. If that happens, you're a 1099 contract, but we will choose not to use your services real quick after one of those incidents.
Love it. I noticed that a lot of guys don't put max effort once their bare minimum lifestyle met. There's so many guys out there, they say that they want to $300,000, $400,000 a year, but the moment they make, a couple grand a week, which is like, let's say $80,000 a year lifestyle, they're fine. They stop.
Yeah.
They stop hustling. Do you see it a lot?
Yeah, that's your bottom. Those people are on the leaderboard.
So they just made enough, like, if you keep doing the activity, like pretty much as long as they have rent money, beer money, they're done. Yeah. I never could understand it.
Yeah, there's no growth there. So that's the same thing. We structure, everything we do is performance-based. It's all based. So once you hit $1 million at my company in 2023, your 10% comes off. So our pay is 10, 50, 50. So once you hit $1 million, your 10% comes off for the rest of the year.
So now it's 50-50.
It's 50-50 for the rest of the year because everybody.
So if you sell $2 million, you can easily make $500,000 for yourself.
Easy. Jared did it this year.
I remember I was working with a guy in Atlanta, actually, and his dad, it was 2007. We're working in a remodeling company. The guy's from Chicago. His dad is a lawyer for Pepsi and, loaded. And his son, like his mom would send him PS5 or Xbox for Christmas with the computer games.
Yeah.
I mean, like $25, and he moved back to parents' basement at the age of 27. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, Dimitri, sometimes you have to take a step back to go forward again. I'm like, so his dad was making $500,000, and I
Right.
was thinking how much money it is. And now I see people in the roofing industry. I can make $500,000, and I'm dumb immigrant with no degree. Like, this industry is so amazing with the earning potential.
Right. I'm dyslexic. I can barely read and write, and I'm making, you can do the math. But I do well. It's the same thing, man. And like I said, it's the old man roofing's gone. Is, people are still trying to run their businesses like the 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s. And roofing, if you're not staying up on your culture and your content and pay scales and staying moving, dealing with marketing companies, dealing with what's the newest trend, because roofing is kind of a movement now, right? It's changing every day with these insurance laws, and people are killing it. And like you said, the money's bananas. So if you're not staying on top of your game, you're coming home and putting your phone on the mantle, you won't be leading it in 2023. Like I said, every year, my job, Lance actually does the builds, Todd does admin and marketing, and he kind of runs the office. But my job is to bring the checks in the office. So there's not been a year that hasn't came. So we did 25 million last year. We did 40 million this year. So what am I going to do to beat 40? You see what I'm saying? So all that AccuLinks is about to clear out, and everybody's going to be at zero. So you got to keep reinventing yourself, and you got to come up with a game plan every year. I'm not just coming home and putting my phone down and hugging my girl, and that's what she wants me to do, right? But my goal is to hit 80 to 100 million next year. So you got to implement plans. It's not just going to magically happen. Those are real numbers. Those aren't just some Facebook meme. You know what I mean? Those are real numbers.
Love it.
That bank went through the bank account. You know what I mean? The way it's the wild, wild west in roofing, like I said, and you gotta stay on what's the newest thing, until we plane out. But the guys that are running their company like they did in the 90s and early 2000s, some of them are still killing it, but there's not many, right? It's new guys, and it's the ones that aren't getting complacent.
Love it. You talk a lot about money, and I see so many guys have problem with it. And I used to have problem with the money mentality. Like, most people, I think, who grew up in churches, conservative, we've been told and we've been brainwashed that money is evil. You cannot love money. And now all people hear, when they hear that someone is making 40 million a year, 50, $500,000 a year, like, why do you need that? Why do you need so much? Why you cannot be content? How do you answer to that? And how do you change your money game? Because I know you're not, like, you're probably a money-driven person, but I don't see that you love money. Like, what's your relationship with the money?
My money is, I'm trying to buy financial freedom. I'm trying to buy where I can, take a smaller role at the company eventually, and let some of these younger guys that stick with me through the next 5 years, let them take the lead, and I can go race mountain bikes all over the world. That's my goal. That's my motivation. And obviously, I have a 10-year-old, so he's got to get took care of. I mean, when you hear 40 million, and I get exactly what you're saying, because like I said, I have a lot of people are like, yeah, that's just numbers, that's all you want to talk about. Well, you know what? I actually have 80 people that I'm helping their families. So we're a profit share. That 40 million didn't go in my pocket. That 40 million is split with 80 other people. So, and you
control it. You control the culture. Right. You influence them.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, they're not going to stay with me if I'm not out here leading by example, and if I'm not, as a owner or whatever, you need to. You're providing a path of opportunity for them to provide for their family, right? So you hear $40 million. Well, yeah, I don't have 40 million in my bank account, right? But me and 80 other people split it. You know what I mean? And they can provide for their family. So I'm providing a vehicle that can supply. And then you got to think, we have 150 people that put the roofs on. You know what I mean? That been with us. They're subcontractors, but they've been with us the whole time. The same subs. And they've been with my business partner for 13 years. So that's also, you have 150, Guatemalan families that are benefiting from it. So you got 230 families that benefit from Perimeter Roofing. So, yeah, I think it's important. I think it's important to put up 100 million. Right. That's what I'm saying. They need 100 million. Those families need 100 million to split 230 ways, in my opinion. So it's not just, you hear the money, but, and also people are driven by money. They are driven by the cars, the trucks, the financial freedom. But, you know what? I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, I know the exact same people that you're talking about, and you know, it is what it is, you know.
I think that broke people, I think people who say they, that we hate money, I think they love money even more. Like
That's 100% true.
broke people love money more than rich people.
So it's like this. You're either humble by choice or you're humble because of your energy level.
Love it.
So there's two different types. There's one humble and there's two types of way to get there. You either humble because you chose to be, or you're humble due to your energy level. So you pick your humble, is what I always say. So,
well, it's also like when people who never have money, never earn money, they're so smart and they know how to spend someone else's money. You see the post like, oh, Jeff Bezos could end poverty in Africa, right? I'm like, all right, how much are you making? You're making 100K. What's stopping you to donate $5,000? So you want Bezos donate $5 billion,
right,
where you cannot do 5,000? Like,
everybody's always the best boss of somebody else's situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's same thing. What we could talk about what Tom Beatty dropped the ball yesterday, got smashed. Me and you could sit here and talk about that for an hour, right? But neither here nor there. He should have did this. He should have did that. Everybody's the best coach of the other person's lifestyle. From a safe place. It's super easy to sit here and say, well, you should have did this, this, and this. Well, you don't know all the factors in what happened. You know what I mean? So.
Exactly. And I think if you get to know it, I study biographies of, like Bezos and Musk's, and it fascinates me. But it's so true, like what they do and how they say it. And if you actually follow their journey, it fascinates because they didn't, like, you understand quickly how they become who they become.
Right.
Most people are not willing to do those sacrifices.
Put the work in,
take the risk. They're not willing to.
Well, and that's the same thing. I get my son every other weekend and every other week in the summer. So my story, right? You're saying, oh, he can't be happy. He works all the time. He can't. Dude, I don't have nothing else to do, but raise him out. I'm 45 years old, and my girlfriend, my wife now lives with me now. But, and we live in a 102-year-old farmhouse on 64 acres that I bought for $65,000 7 years ago.
Nice.
Like, I don't live in $1 million house. I am balanced. I am humble. Everybody sees the numbers. Well, yeah, you see the numbers, but that's providing for 230 people's families. And then if you want to really get technical, the companies from 1 million to 50 million are the most tax companies in the world. So not only am I doing that, I'm paying that many taxes. So there's another probably 500 families benefiting from it. So if you really want to get real technical, get involved in your local government and try to figure out these tax laws. And you realize that the people that are in the small mom and pop, the 50 million and under businesses,
You're the one who's paying
for all of it, because the big guys ain't and the little guys ain't. So you're getting hammered in the middle. So when you want to talk about humble, this and that, you got to realize these guys are out there busting their butt, are the ones paying the majority of the taxes that help the roads, help your parks, help your kids. So my kids only go to public school, and I probably pay, I ain't no telling how much of my money goes to public school taxes.
And guys who are doing 1-2 million, they will probably get a check from the government at the end of the year.
Right. They filed for all those things or whatever you could. We didn't do that. And we operate debt free. We operate debt free. Saturday morning, we don't owe anybody anything.
Love it.
So we don't do any of that. So we are heavily taxed.
And no credit with the suppliers?
No, we pay it off every Saturday morning.
Love it.
Yeah. When I scale to the next, I want to. That's the same thing with my personal credit too. If I'm going to hit my own credit, it's either going to be for a tax write-off for a stupid 6,000 pound vehicle that's way overpriced, so I can use as a tax benefit, or I can, or if I use my credit, it'll be for a commercial building I can make money off of. So I live within inside my means. I'm super humbled for the success of this company.
Perimeter roofing. How are you guys different from competition? What's your secret sauce? How were you able to blow up in just 6 years? What are you guys doing differently there?
I think it's just
You're good. You're good.
I think it's just the accountability, amongst the culture. I mean, the culture is super important. Living healthy lifestyle outside of roofing, changing the the stereotype of roofing sales. I think also in
what is stereotype of roofing sales?
I mean, the vaping, the dirtbagness, the not getting paid, the stealing the check from the homeowner, just what you see on Facebook and the news every now and then. I think being a pillar in the local community, since we're not really storm chasing. I mean, we have a perimeter cares also, so we pay back all the school lunches. So if a kid can't pay for school lunch, they kind of get like a pack out, like a lunch and everything. So we go around all the Gwinnett County schools, and we actually pay all the lunch debt off.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
How much does that run?
Between that and I mean, we're towards six figures on charities.
Wow.
We also, like this weekend, if you look on Facebook, we go build beds for the homeless too, the homeless kids or the kids in need. Families restarting over, so we sleep in heavenly peace. I moved them into the back of our warehouse. So we, like, this Saturday morning, we went and delivered 27 beds to kids that didn't have them.
Oh wow. This hits home for me. I grew up. I was the oldest of seven kids, and in a school we have government support. Like if you're from big family or income like low income family,
Right,
they'll give you like a voucher, and at least meals were provided. And
right,
I remember but the problem was everybody always knew who you are. And
right.
I remember I was recently watching. We have a governor in one of the regions of Russia. Unfortunately, they put him in jail. He became so popular, so he was becoming more popular than Putin.
Yeah,
And when they interrogated him, he was like, "What do you think are you doing? Like, how is your rating going up and
right,
president's rating is going down?" They
right.
literally put him in jail, allegedly for something he did 15 years ago, but
Oh,
everybody
wow.
knows it was just for political rating. But
Right,
one of the things I remember what he did, he gathered all his like politicians, and one of the politicians was reporting to him about the food program in school, and they have two different budgets. Pretty much, low income kids had different lunch, and he's like, "Are you guys kidding me? What are we doing as a society if we say like people who can afford it gonna eat this?"
yeah, that's crazy.
And like
Yeah.
you can't separate like that. Tell me that story. Like, why did you decide to do that? Like, why kids, why food?
Well, I think, like I said, having a productive culture you know, at our office. I mean, some of our guys, a lot of them, have had trouble pass and stuff. Me and Todd actually owned a rehab facility in Gainesville, Georgia, called Synergy Recovery. When we shut that down, we knew we had to do something. Roofing got too big, and we had a 10-unit apartment building with 28 recovering addicts in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Were
So
they working for you or just
no, no,
for?
no, 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 no.
So it's not a business plan.
No, what a business plan. Yeah, you get into different parameters then. No, they weren't working for us. But once we, pulled away from that situation, we knew that, when you're doing good, you need to give back. So we started Perimeter Cares, and we started paying for the school lunches. And then I went to an event where we're building the beds. I just kind of showed up to it, and I really liked it. So I came back, and when I came back, I realized they were working out of a storage unit. So they had all this wood stacked like Tetris in the storage unit. And I was like, and we had to pull it all out, and we're building it outside in the parking lot. So I said, dude, look, we have a couple thousand square foot of office space we're not using. Just bring the beds over here.
Wow.
So we do that. If I'm not racing bikes, I'm usually at a bed building thing. Yeah. So we
Sure.
just
Any other employees involved in it?
Oh, yeah, the whole team shows up. Yeah, everybody
Wow.
loves it. Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, they bring their families, their kids, everything.
Here's what I want to touch on. So many people, we were talking earlier how we have this big debate about money, and people hate on big companies like 40, 50 million. It's all you're talking about. Why cannot you be content, and bigger is not better? Here's the thing. Um, there's so much happiness you can earn with the money. What you just said, many people don't get. You have to give back, and one of the reasons is because that's truly brings happiness. If you study any billionaire, like, you know, I like Warren Buffett quotes on it. How he said that, I sleep in the same bed as you guys probably sleep, eat the same places. Like the lifestyle difference between 100,000 a year, 500,000 a year, it's not that much. I mean, you go a little bit nicer vacation, but what truly brings happiness, it's those moments when you
Right.
actually can pay back. Maybe that's one of the reasons we should be building a little bit bigger companies, being a little bit more profitable, because we're not in charity business, but at the same time, uh, like, my question to you is this: what's the difference? Like, so you're in business for profit,
Yes.
but you're not cheap.
Right.
Why can you be cheaper and give back through cheaper pricing? Why do you need to make profit to give back this
Yeah.
way?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, that's exactly right. I mean, yeah, the more that, as long as you are, I think, when people are talking about balance, you can find balance in that. It's not like we're doing $40 million a year and I'm out on a yacht or, on the weekends. I mean, I legit live in a 102-year-old house that's 1,100 square feet.
But your competition, there's so many roofers in
Oh
Atlanta, and
yeah.
I know it for a
Oh
fact.
yeah.
So they also do charity by
Yeah.
giving away roofs for free.
Right. Right.
Well, not charging enough.
Right. Right.
$250
Yeah,
a
I mean,
square.
I think, I think, the more you can provide, the more you can provide to be a positive influence in the community as far as an employer, right? I mean, if you got office staff, 80 reps and 150 laborers, and, I mean, you're providing 300, essentially almost 300 people employment opportunity for people that can change lives and change their families, and then plus give back to the community that you're in. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. I mean, hopefully we can do 100 million and give away about 2 or 3 of it.
Love it. I want to give shout out to a few people here. So Kevin saying good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida, guys. We're live. This guy right here, I want to just make a statement. If so many people have asked how to find leads, how to find jobs, right here you have a brain that will share and answer your questions. They've done over $16 million worth of business through Facebook ads, not ads, through Facebook as a platform. $16 million. Many of you will not do it in lifetime. And if you're a $1 or $2 million company, it'll take you 8 years to do. They did it in 6 years.
Oh, 110 million.
Well, on the Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. Yeah. Facebook.
$16 million from Facebook
Yeah.
alone.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So think about it.
Sorry, yeah.
You're here watching, ask a question, engage, like the podcast. We're gonna read all the good questions, so fire away. We have, I don't know what it means, Ulysses Aceves, dirty roofer here. What's up? If you're dirty roofer, you're probably on the job site right now, maybe eating lunch. And I hope most of you will watch it later, not right now, because you should be working during the day. Unfortunately for us, we can't do it in the morning or in the afternoon. Raymond here flew from Atlanta just to record this piece of content. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about, let me remove this. Let's talk about Facebook. How did you start on Facebook and why it was Facebook?
It was free.
It was
it was free at that point in time. 6 years ago, it was free, and I didn't like knocking doors. I just didn't like knocking doors at all. I mean, I would be so Todd, my business partner, we would be in this big jacked up dually. We're going down the street. He would be knocking, and I kind of moved the truck up, but I called it the digital knock. So I was knocking people in Messenger.
okay.
So I would knock every day. Hey, have you had your roof looked at since July the 12th? Oh,
So that was your strategy.
that was my digital
just
knock.
DMing people.
Yeah, DMing people until back then it didn't make you stop.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would just every day. Did you know we had a storm on July the 18th?
Where would you find people?
So what I did is what I kind of figured out. So I did friends and family first, and then I was laying in my bed one night and I was thinking, dude, who sees more? Who looks at the most roofs? The most roofs. And I was like, you know what? Who looks at the most houses ever? You know what? Their profession. So I started real estate agents. They might show 10, 11, 12 houses a weekend. So I started friending every real estate agent in the area, every one of them. And then I would say, hey, if anything comes up on your home inspection report, let me look at the roof. I possibly can do a free repair. So now I work for about 700 real estate agents, but anybody, pest control people, gutter people, anything, I was offering them, hey, look, I get 50% commission. I'll give you 25% commission. So I didn't care. I was trying to
So you
volume.
were just in sales back then?
Yeah, I was in sales back then. Yeah. So I was just trying to reinvent the wheel. I hated knocking on doors, man.
Why do you hate knocking on doors?
I have social anxiety. I didn't like it. I could knock on the door, like I was telling you earlier. I could knock on the door at a building and say I can apologize for the noise and stuff like that. and just point. As long as I have a vantage point, hey, we just got this roof approved. I can knock on the door of them, but something just gives me anxiety about it. I'm more on the digital side, the networking. That's why I believe in marketing so much.
When did you start making videos?
I mean, early. I mean, every build day. I mean, 6 years ago, I started just doing just doing pictures of the before and after. Or, hey, we're here this morning on the 6 years ago is when we started doing any content.
And when did you start getting leads from those videos?
Immediately.
Really?
Immediately. I mean,
Was it personal or business page?
Personal.
Personal.
Mm-hmm.
Business doesn't work as much.
No, and if you have 2 pages, definitely does. In my opinion, I don't think it works as much. I think you should just have 1 page because I think you spread your content too narrow.
Sure.
It's like you have like Raymond, and then you have Raymond Wood Perimeter Roofing, and then I think it's just be organic, in your page.
So what kind of videos brought you the most amount of leads? I mean, we know content you're putting out now, like even how many videos with the arguments you have with adjusters? Just one, or you
I have a couple. I have a couple. Yeah, I have a couple.
Did they bring you business?
They do, because that brought me instant business because people were stuck in limbo where their roofing company's knowledge had ran out of talent, I like to say, and on getting their roof approved. And then we kind of come in and
so re-inspections,
and also knowing what's on the roof, knowing what the policy pays.
So how does it work? People DM you, or they comment?
They'll DM me. They'll DM me directly. Hey, my mom's roof. She's working with somebody. They haven't returned her calls in a couple weeks. They've had 2 inspectors out there, and then I'll say, oh well, if she's not working with them no more, just go ahead and DM, forward me the scope. Let me see what they bought, and then I start working from there.
Love it.
So
I actually have been teaching this strategy for a long time. We have a storm in 2018. And here in downtown Minneapolis, I would film the video in downtown because people think about this. When they're scrolling, when they see house like their house, they see their neighborhoods, they know you're not an actor, you're probably somewhere local,
right.
You're probably down the street. So what I would do, I would film it and say, hey, I have a story for you. If you live in Minneapolis, after the storm, I have a story for you right here. 6 months ago, it was my video. We have a house disapproved. Brian lives here. He has 6 properties. Allstate came out, denied the claim. We got a reinspection. It's something we don't like to do, but it was $68,000 job. And I filmed the video on the last day of install, like 8 months in. But I shared the story of those 8 months. So I have a B-roll footage before and after, and I shared it with them what they have. And I said, if you're the homeowner in this neighborhood, an insurance company denied you, we hate this type of work, but someone have to do it.
Right.
Give us a call.
Right.
And again, like leads were coming in for those re-inspections.
Right.
Like you need different videos for different type of audiences.
Right.
I mean, after the storm, this is good. Like, the claim or how to file a claim or how to fight insurance denial. Those are different pieces of content that will give you different jobs.
Right. Exactly right. I mean, you got to look, it's 2022. People aren't going to the library to get information. They're getting it from reels. They're getting it from videos.
Mm-hmm.
That's your policy you're paying into, right? We're here to educate you. It's not a scam. If it was a scam, everybody's like, oh, that's a scam. What insurance will pay for my roof? I said, absolutely, they'll pay for your roof. The insurance companies aren't going to write $110 million in 5 years. It's not a scam. We're fighting to get the money that you're owed. So
Absolutely.
It's educating the homeowner. That's what we were talking about earlier is, I haven't had a claim in 31 years. I said, well, you probably paid, out of your pocket 2 years, 2 times for roofs that you probably could have got paid for. So they're just sitting there laughing at you.
Absolutely. I want to touch down on your most famous video. It's on TikTok, it's YouTube, it's Instagram, Facebook, it's everywhere. And the angle I want to look at it is so many roofers are afraid of controversy. We have this opinion that we should not be filming adjusters. We should not be confrontational. And from content perspective, you have to have a conflict in a video. It could be good versus bad. It could be good job, bad job. It could be repair. I mean, all of those things that they are engaging. And you filmed that video. I want to hear the story of the video, like before and after, and how did it go?
Yeah. So I mean, basically, I think it was just me and you were talking about. I mean, basically, we were there to perform a brittle test. Jeff, the adjuster, walked straight up the roof, seen a missing shingle, lifted it up a corner. The corner broke off the shingle. When I was standing behind him, I was like, "Well, we're done here. You just That's not repairable. You just broke the corner off." He goes, "Oh, that one don't count. That one don't count." I said, "No, no, that counts. Like that's it's not repairable." And then it was just like a broken record after that. I think confrontation, it's not even really confrontation, it's accountability. A lot of lawyers and people on all these experts online, they think it's confrontation. No, it's accountability. You're holding an insurance company
You're doing
accountable.
your job. We're both in a public place. The
Rob,
homeowner wants to do it. Why not?
right, you signed that homeowner up. State Farm signed that homeowner up. They assumed the responsibility, the risk of that roof, right? And when it's time to pay for it due to storm damages, we're there to hold them accountable. I don't People are like, I think on the roof, as long as it's all based off facts, there's not emotion involved, there's respect given. Like every time I said, yes, sir, yes, sir. Now we both raised our voice, but I addressed them as yes, sir, no, sir, yes, sir.
There's respect.
There's respect there. I'm fighting for Jeff's policy. The homeowner's name's Jeff too. He's on the ground. These homeowners aren't getting on their roof. You're just going by what the insurance company's telling you. And that's why roofers are, we do make a good living, but we also do get homeowners 20, 30, $100,000 for the roof, for their deductible. All we're doing is, I don't even like to say it's not even roofing, it's accountability partners for your home.
I love it. I love that angle because nobody likes to argue, but as two professionals, I mean, think about courthouse. Like if you want to become a lawyer, essentially you making other lawyer accountable. There's a law. You making arguments, but that's the profession. And in a sense, we're consumer advocates.
Right. Yeah, you got to think. So if you hire a lawyer and I hire a lawyer, right, they're both essentially third parties to the judge, right, to discuss, a matter that we need outside influence on. That's all it is. It's not really arguing. I mean, you can still be friends outside. We just have a different look on way the business or way the transaction went. It's not those lawyers when they leave, they still shake hands. They're just getting your checks. So it's just accountability. It's just accountability on the roof. That's all it is. And I feel like insurance companies, for years and years and years, the homeowner's not getting on the roof, especially in Atlanta or Nashville. They're not getting on the roofs. They don't even know what's up there. So 12, 12, 13, 12, 2, 3 stories in there. I'm not going to argue up there. I don't want an adjuster to push me from behind or do what. It's not arguing. It's accountability. There's always a level of respect there. I think even then I held Jeff's ladder. You know what I mean? Like he used my ladder, you know what I mean? So it's not even we just have a disagreement.
That's a good practice because
Yeah.
if you use his, you might not be getting down.
Right. Yeah, we've had cases in Atlanta. I've actually had a State Farm adjuster tell me, "Are you done here?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "Well, you can leave." I said, "Okay." So when I left, I took my ladder with me, and he was up 2 stories in there, needed 32-foot access to get down, and I heard from State Farm in a couple of days, but I said he asked me to leave, asked me if I was done here, so I left and I took my ladder.
So you left public insurance adjuster
Insurance.
on a 32-foot.
Yeah, I mean, he asked me to leave. He said, "If you're done, I'm gonna do my square." So I got
How long did he stay there?
I think he stayed there probably an hour or so.
Call someone else.
He called somebody else, and I seen him on another claim, and yeah, he definitely didn't approve that roof. So, but we ended up being cool afterwards. Like I said, "Hey, if I require my ladder at the next job, and you asked me to leave. Yeah, you said if I'm done here, I can leave." And I said, "Yes, sir, I'm done. I got all my pictures, everything." I said, "All right, well, I'm gonna go." So I just went down there, loaded my ladder up, put it back on the rack, and headed to my next one. Simple as that.
Wow.
So,
guys, give it a like, ask a question. I want to, there's someone, Daniel Ethan says, nothing but respect for Ray, Todd, and the guys at Perimeter Roofing. Culture is key. We have a question from Saul. What do you do during the off season if you have one? Do you sharpen your tools for the next year? It's Atlanta. There's no off season in Atlanta.
No, it's just grind season year round there. Yeah, no, like I was talking with Dimitri earlier, there's really no downtime or off time for me. where I'm at with my goals in my life. My downtime is, running, cycling, sitting in a sauna, trying to get in the cold plunge like Dimitri, but I can't get past my waist.
It's all in your head.
Yeah, I know. I gotta get past that point. I'm gonna tag you in my video when I finally go under. But there's really no downtime. I mean, the industry right now in roofing is moving at a rapid rate. Insurance policies are moving around a little bit. It's getting a little bit harder to get them approved. So I think you need to stay on your game time. But yeah, my downtime's eating right, meal prep, sitting in saunas.
You do meal prep?
Yeah, through a company now. I don't cook, but yeah, I mean, my downtime is I'm 45 years old. I make my living climbing roofs, so my downtime is making sure I can continue to climb roofs for at least 5 more years.
How many roofs you climb per day?
I got my step thing, which is pretty cool. But anywhere between 6 and 11, 12 a day.
Is it new inspections or what?
New inspections or adjuster meetings. Most of them are usually steep and high. I've been doing it for years and years and years. I've climbed roofs in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina. But yeah, I mean, I'm out there with an amazing team, man, and they'll have my schedule loaded up. So typical day for me is 5, 6, 9, 10, 11 inspections. Our adjuster meetings for years now.
In Atlanta, it's a lot of traffic.
Yeah,
it takes like an hour from anywhere to anywhere at least.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, and that's another thing. I tell other people, and they're like, "Man, how you do all that driving?" And I was like, "Well, I do really well in roofing. It pays well, and I drive a 6-figure truck around. So like, cry me a river. It's like crying with $100 bills in your eyes. Really, I mean, I love it. I love the aspect of roofing. I love the sales of the roofing. I love everything about it. And like I said, I drive anywhere between about 1,400 miles a week.
Wow.
So, but like I said, I go through the vehicle.
What's your favorite part of the job?
I like basically I like the adjuster meeting. The adjuster meeting's the biggest, the getting what you thought, signing it up, and getting it approved, seeing the homeowner's face, picking the colors, especially when they're like, well, if you can get it done, then we'll do it. I like, when they get that scope in their hand there, and then you really have did it,
Do you supplement a lot?
So here's how we go. So people are watching, they're gonna learn a valuable lesson. Just do it in your market though. If the adjuster isn't on the property and it's a ladder assist, we full supplement, try to tear their heads off. If the adjuster's on the property, obviously we don't, because he's there or she's there. Sorry, he or she's there. So they see the property, they see what we need, but I'll agree with them. I'll say, hey, you see this, this, and this, and this, go ahead and get this on the front end or get it on the back end. But yeah, if the adjuster's not there, then that $20,000 roof needs to be a $50,000 roof. Because like I told you earlier, we're in the process of getting these adjusters back out in the field to make coverage decisions. Quit paying these ladder assists to hide behind these emails and these denials.
What's the biggest problem with a ladder assist in your opinion?
Not licensed. You're going to train them for a week and you're going to have them zeroing out 100 square roof, and that's crazy. So any of y'all guys listen.
How can you dispute it? Like, what's the process of dispute? Because if it's insurance adjuster, you can get reinspected. Can you get it reinspected after a ladder assist?
Yes.
Same way?
Same thing. Because first and foremost, we need to move the industry in the face of adjuster needs to be at their property to make a coverage decision that can say yes or no on the property, either sitting in the car after a ladder assist. It needs no more needs to be just a ladder assist and he's zeroing it out and taking pictures and sending it to an adjuster in a whole nother state. That's how they're getting the denials. And then you have to find them with emails.
Do they do it on purpose?
I think so. I'm sure they do it on purpose. If I've been paying in a policy, so let's just say I have a whatever, I don't care if it's a $50,000 house or a $5 million house, and I'm paying you every month, and you're going to pay somebody $150 that has no license and qualifications or anything at all to get on my roof and tell me yes or no, and this person started 10 days ago, they are persuading the coverage decision. We have to get away from that.
But ladder assist, they go through like hack training, for example, same as insurance adjusters. What insurance adjusters have? What kind of training insurance adjuster gets that ladder?
Well, they have the authority to write. They have the authority to give you the reason, you and the homeowner, basically the homeowner, of why it's a no. not behind a phone or email. It's a lot different denying something in person, and you can give an explanation why it's denied today. A ladder assist in Georgia, they can be trained 3 or 4 days a week.
Really?
Yeah, and to get up there and they'll show up on a 100 square roof and they're zeroing it out. And a lot of them think it's funny. So where I get away from that is if you're not a licensed adjuster, don't zero that roof out. Don't light numbers on it. Don't do any of that. We got as a whole in the whole United States, as in this contractors, we have to start asking for licensed adjusters to be on the property to make the decision on the property. They can see the condition of the roof. Like we were talking about drones earlier. The adjuster says, "Oh, that's not bruised, right? That's not." How can a drone tell if it's bruised? How can the person that's not licensed tell if the shingle is bruised? That's what I'm saying. We got what's good this day has got to be good this day. So it's got to be a level playing ground.
Mhm.
If we're talking about HAG certified and all this, and the matting's not fractured, the person making decisions in a whole nother state on that, so he gets a pixeled picture over an email, he can tell if that shingle is bruised or not. No, that's not a fair adjuster meeting.
Got it.
So
22KH22 asking architectural shingles that you prefer to install. Do you even have 3 tabs?
we don't install 3 tabs.
Like, I don't know anyone who can install
Mm-mm.
3 tabs
And
anymore.
as soon as those get the 3 tabs out of this market, then we got a whole nother wave of
But they still sell 3 tabs.
25 year.
25.
Yeah. So no, we don't install any 3 tabs at all. I mean,
I think it's harder to install 3 tabs.
it's hard.
Than
My guys won't even nail them. Yeah, my guys won't even nail
your
them.
lines
Yeah.
have to be straight.
Yeah, and you're going to warranty that roof. If you want to warranty a roof for 5 to 25 years, we got 2 different warranties. 5 or 25. You don't want to do that on 3 tab. There's no need to save that $1 a bundle. You know what I mean? Plus, you don't want to be the only guy in the neighborhood putting 3 tabs on. Man, ain't nobody doing that no more.
It's easy to sell against. But what about I see Canada pictures and roofs, and I don't understand why, but like synthetics are not big there. They still install tars. Like if you look at the Instagram accounts for Canada roofers, so many shingles go straight over deck. That's number one.
Right.
Then you have underlayment, but like 15-pound felt paper, 30-pound felt, and they would argue it's better than synthetic. I mean, how can it be better? First of all, it's more money. You have
Right.
how many rolls? Like, one roll is 10 squares, and 30 pounds will be like 1.5. It's like 7 rolls, 6 rolls,
Right.
something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, it sounds like we need a perimeter roofing in Canada. Yeah, I don't know why that is. I mean, on the production side of it, I'm like I said, I have a business partner, Lance, that is phenomenal in production.
Maybe just old school mentality. That
Old school mentality.
I've done it for 20 years. Why change?
Why change it? Homeowners not educated, and like I said, we probably should put 3 tabs on one more time, so we could eat like this one more time.
I don't know. It's funny to me, but when the roofers start arguing about quality of their jobs, when they say, well, you don't need to advertise, you don't need marketing, my job speaks for itself. I'm like, do you think you're getting jobs because you're putting quality roofs? Like, no, nobody, like, I would argue that homeowners, when they're getting shitty job or good jobs, they don't give a crap. They don't know. If you install it without felt paper, nobody gonna find out. Nobody gonna know.
yeah. Not until the warranty call or whatever. Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I'm not. That's not.
I just don't know what it means.
When
guys, maybe you explain to me, when a roofer says that if you think your quality job gets you more jobs, what do you mean? Like, what's the last time you've seen homeowner actually watching what you're doing? They leave in the morning, they come back at the end of the day, job is done.
Yeah, I think your quality job and your quality is going to be based off your reviews. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be
communication.
And communication, reviews and communication is going to show your quality of work. It's not.
But those don't come from straight line on a roof. Those come from, were you on time?
Right.
Your price,
right.
Your communication,
right.
Nothing to do with actually install.
Right. And that's it, man. We're nailing 2,000 squares a week right now. And like I said, we have it rained, a week straight. We had 3 warranty calls, and there's probably right at 10,000 roofs under warranty. So, I mean, yeah, yes and no. I mean, as long as you're not getting blasted on your reviews. I mean, your reviews, I think, reflect your installs. basically. And if you have any open ones that you didn't address, I think that's how we can, yeah, like you said, they're not up there. It's not like they're walking around a car that's got painted. I'm 100% with you on that.
Love it. Michael Storms asks, biggest piece of advice for someone starting out on their own?
Don't get too big too quick. Don't get spread out.
What's too quick? Like doubling every year, is it too quick? I mean, if you do 1 million first year, 2 million.
Well, 1 million should be one person. So
Yeah, true.
so 1 million should be two person. I just, that's a good
2
question.
million, 2 person, 3 million, 3 person.
At the first couple of years, and like I said, starting out on your own right now with the pushback, don't get out of the field. I mean, that's the biggest thing. If you're a sales rep and you go out on your own, you better stay out there in the field because that's where your bread and butter is. You do what you know best. If you killed it as a sales rep, you're a good sales rep. Get you a couple guys, and stay out there in the field with them. And don't think just because, I've known other guys that left my company and started their own company. First thing they did was get off the roofs. Guess what? They're not in business no more.
I love it. And Raymond here is a great example of that. 6 to 11 inspections every day. I actually heard great piece of advice from Ty Lopez, out of all people. Yesterday I was listening to his podcast on Cold Coffee Shop. He said, like we have this business advice, like how you build a business, how you scale a business. And popular belief is, and many roofers believe that you implement the systems. Like everybody wants to build a McDonald's that works without them. But the best restaurants I've ever been to, best stores, managers is always there. They might be there for 1 hour a day, but they always check in. They're always on top of things. If you want to build any business and check in with your team once a month, that business is going to fail. It's not only the matter of building a business or buying a business, putting a system in place and hiring a manager. It's also calling that manager every single day. Report to me. Report to me.
Right.
What did we do today? Because you will be amazed how fast company goes to the ground.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and how things. I mean, accountability is everything.
I could tag some in here, but we ain't gonna do that. But no, I mean it says this. So so you're a sales rep now, and you went out on your own, right? So you're duplicating yourself. So the culture of building a successful business is duplicating winners. And if you were a good sales rep 2, 3, 5 years and you decided to go out on your own, you better stay out there and lead by example. What did your manager do? Where'd you pull him from? Was he selling millions too? That's what I'm saying. Everybody has to be in this industry, like McDonald's or Chick-fil-A might be different or whatever. But, everybody better be leading by example. Like I said, I go out and I sell $1 million every year, at least $1 million, sometimes 2. But I'm out there leading by example and duplicating myself, right? I think a lot of owners need to do some self-reflection and look in the mirror. Would my company sell 10 million if there's 10 of me and that was it? The answer is probably no, because you probably lost everything that you got when you went and sat behind that desk.
And I think I want to address one of the biggest problems in the industry, in the storm chasing industry, is we have this mentality that working less is good. Like everybody's chasing making more, working less. Everybody wants to have a lifestyle where 4-hour work week and stuff. But what's happening is, and I've seen it time and time again, if you follow companies who have a big trend of not paying salespeople, like disputes, starve and starve,
stack and starve, the Florida
model. Yeah, Florida model. Not only Florida though, but if you follow that model and people who actually have done it, so here's what's usually happens. So they go and recruit 10, 15 sales guys, and they let them sell, bring the folders in, and they get disengaged. So they don't follow up with them. They don't see what's happening. And then when it becomes a shit show, they come back to their business. And guess what? You were not there present. You don't know what kind of problems. You were not making anyone accountable. Maybe those sales guys were making mistakes. Maybe it was production manager. Maybe whatever. You will always find someone to point finger at, to blame someone. And it's probably you. But what's happening is now you have $300,000 hole. Now you don't have money to pay supplier. Now you have huge receivables. Now you have accountant who has to make 500 calls. Now you need to bring money back. Easiest, what I've seen, is to fire sales guys and don't pay them. But most of the time is the owner who was not present, and now he has leverage and he
Well,
can rob someone.
well, I think we got to go even deeper than that. I think we got to figure out where all these people just came from. What did they leave? Right? Where did this owner come from? What was he doing before the storm? Was he killing it where he's organically from? Where are these reps from? Were they leaving 10, 15 jobs to come chase the storm? No. They're chasing quick money, fast thing. These production crews, where you don't have any builds already lined up in your pipeline. Where do these three dynamics come from to come down here? I think you got three volatile situations, because what hole did they come out of? There wasn't no money in that hole. You see what I'm saying? So you got a perfect. Now what can we do?
Perfect shit storm.
We got a shit storm, and look, now guess what they can do? They can go on Facebook and they can point fingers at each other and say, this is why I failed. This is why I failed. Well, if you get to the root of the problem, they already failed it back where they just came from anyway. And that's why they're down here beating doors in a storm environment. If a person's a $1 or $2 million producer where they left from, they're not leaving a pipeline with another roofing company. We know this industry. They didn't say, hey, I'm going to take y'all cover these 14 builds. I'm going to go to this other company and go sign 100. You're not getting that quality of rep. You're not getting that quality of owner.
Chasing money.
They've been chasing. If you go look back, we could do a whole documentary on these people. You could do a whole, besides the mature ones that we talked about, like the beast, the $100 million guys. They know what they're doing, and they're paying people too. But that's what, but they're bringing their team in, and they have a plan. This other stuff, this fly by night stuff, you can look at the production, the sales rep, and the owners. Look at what they left from to go right back into a toxic situation. Now they can all just blame, this is why we failed. This is why we failed. If you look back even deeper, you'll see they were already failing where they came from.
And another thing too is like, why do you even, like, for me, storm chasing, like, it's the bad concept for the sake of storm chasing. Like, it's a great model for expansion. Like, you have a solid presence. Like, I always ask guys, so let's say you're in Minneapolis and you want to go to Florida because storms
it's cold.
So you're telling me that you don't have enough roofs in Minneapolis? Like, name one city in the country when there's not enough roofs.
That's what I'm telling you. And that's what I've come to now. I mean, there is the beast. I mean, the people that are legit storm chasing are bringing a whole outfit down there, and they've usually been sitting at home for a year or 5 or 8 months because they've had plenty of money because they ran the last storm the right way. They're flying down in Lear jets and got convoys. I know them. Okay. I'll talk to them on my phone. I know they're the Kurt Linningtons, the Matt Spantons, and all that. They know how to do it, dude, and they're doing $100 million a year. So if you're going down with the outfit and you think that you're going to beat you think that you're going to, you're going to come down here and you're going to work up on this license and you're going to get crews when you get down here and all that. I mean, come on, man.
Do you still see a lot of sets happening behind the scenes?
The what?
Sets. When
oh yeah, there's plenty of people running sets down there now.
That's like the worst. Like, sets, it's just recipe for disaster. Have you seen successful sets?
I've never seen a successful. I mean, I've only been doing it 6 years, but all I see is lawsuits and crybaby stories.
Stupid claims. We brought 50 claims and we entitled to $40 million and we got screwed.
Every single story. Get down there with the veterans, that been doing those storms, man. There's plenty of them down there. And like I said, if you're trying to go down there and run a storm, we're not down there running the storm. You get in my DMs, I'll put you with somebody that is legit situation down there that I stand behind. But yeah, you got to think of people. It's like playing lottery tickets. Just stay at home and play lottery tickets. If you're legit gonna go down there and you're going to turn your life around. I mean, unless you get with one of those quality guys, when the big outfits and they're much respected.
Earlier you said that Tennessee is one of the better markets. Why do you like Tennessee so much?
Nashville's steep and high in architecture already, so it pays well. The people there are great. It is everybody's moving from California to Nashville for whatever reason. We all know it, but is a booming market. Tennessee as a whole is a good pretty much untapped market. Yeah, we love it there. It's basically like a clean Atlanta.
Clean Atlanta.
Yeah, a clean Atlanta. You park your truck sometimes and go inspect the roof, and they might break in it or do whatever. In Nashville, you can leave your truck running downtown and nothing happens.
Is Atlanta getting worse?
It's getting worse by the day. You said that when you were talking about earlier, you're talking about Chicago and Atlanta have a lot of similarities in roofing. They have a lot of similarities in a lot of stuff.
I left Atlanta in 2013. I couldn't do it anymore.
Oh, well, you definitely can't do it now.
I have been back 4 or 5 times, and traffic gets worse every time I come.
Oh yeah.
And to go from airport to anywhere like downtown, it's like hour plus.
Oh yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, I mean,
1 hour commute every day, each way. It's like that. I did 2 CrossFit trainings a day for the same time I would be sitting in a car in Atlanta.
Yeah, you got the only thing good about it is, like I said earlier, is you look at everybody sitting in traffic. You're like, well, at least everybody in this traffic lives up under some type of roof, so I got a chance.
Yes.
So you take the good with the bad.
I remember we were working in downtown area. We were rehabbing houses, and one of the guys was robbed by gunpoint. Like one of my coworkers came in, give me a wallet.
Oh yeah, every day
on a job site.
Yeah, every day.
I'm like, so we have a job site. Like I had 6 buckets of paints. So it was Freddie Mac house. We're flipping it. I bought brand new spray painter, $2,500. Brand new pressure washer, 6 or 7 gallons of 5-gallon paint. Navajo white was the color. They took everything.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, who steals 6 buckets of paint?
Yeah. So that is the thing about working in the Atlanta market. I mean, we'll work downtown, but I mean, most of our stuff's northwest Atlanta. South, like real west of the city, but not really in the city too much no more. We try to get.
Why did you decide to go to Florida?
It's an opportunity that we wanted to branch out on. We went during the change of all that. I guess it's SB 181 and all that, and or whatever it is, where all the new rules about knocking and canvassing and stuff. I was flying back and forth doing adjuster meetings, working with canvassers. I was down there with Sean Meredith. He was killing it on the doors. I was climbing and man,
do you recommend Sean Meredith?
Yeah, he's awesome. He's phenomenal.
So he's in canvassing business pretty much.
Yeah, right? Yeah, he's phenomenal, man. He's phenomenal. I highly recommend him come flying and train your guys and girls. He is the real deal. I will put my name behind him. You won't be disappointed. And look, if you put him in a market that he can't perform in, like it's just he'll refund you.
We need to have Sean on this podcast.
Yeah,
Sean,
he's legit, man.
Reach out. Let's fly you in.
Yeah, he's a legit situation. So like I said, I've worked personally with him. Like he's on the doors and I'm climbing behind him, and he was getting us on roofs. The problem is it wasn't Sean, it wasn't perimeter roofing, it wasn't, and we're still building roofs down there now. I mean, currently we're not working the storm, but everything goes to legal, everything goes to appraisal, everything goes to that, and that's just not our business model now. We have 2 guys down there now, and we just do roofs here and there. We have a big project going on that's $15 million, changing tile to metal. So I mean, we're blessed, to have that going on. It's like signing one roof at 15 million. So we've been building that, and I focus on shingles, man, and we don't really. I do some cedar shakes, do some slate, do some stuff, but man, what we know at perimeter roofing shingles, and getting them bought with very little damage, with facts and not damage. So.
Love it. We have a question. Simple Solution Contracting asking, what do you think about roof rejuvenation systems?
You talking about the rubber roofs and stuff like that?
No. Would be a roof max or ugly roof, like what extends the life of the roof?
Replacing it through insurance. But no, I mean, I'm not
you don't implement it, you don't have the division.
Man, we don't. We'll do basic repairs and basically all those are based off installs. But if the roof is damaged, I'm gonna be honest with you, we didn't get $40 million a year by rejuvenating them. It doesn't take once you realize how much, if you start reading the deck pages and start reading the policies on your own time, just don't talk about them on the roof. you'll realize you don't need a lot to get roofs bought, man. It's this knowledge. I mean, I'm, you know, building 2,000 squares a week right now. I ain't trying to rejuvenate any of them. Just being honest. I mean, this is not our model.
Sure.
We did have the drone that, was spraying them. It's like $4,000 a month that we had.
Drone spraying
Yeah,
them.
it's a
Spraying them
drone.
with what?
Yeah, spraying them with a soft wash system.
Oh, okay.
And it's a big 5-6 foot around drone.
Okay.
That's just a little premature. The technology's not there. It still needs it. It's more of a dog and pony show. I think roof washing will be a big thing. I gotta get with
You
that.
have a lot of algae in Atlanta.
Right. Yeah, I mean we do. But that north slope doesn't have to get bought to get it paid for. You know what I mean?
I'll answer for him. A roof rejuvenation is not his business hat.
Yeah, at all.
All right. Small CC is asking, do your sales guys just sell, or do they handle desk tasks too? Do you use internal sales assistants to keep sales always selling?
All they do is sell and upload it to AccuLinks. That's all they do. They're not ordering materials. They're not supplementing. They're not doing anything. Some of them don't even sit their jobs. They are selling machines. They signed up to sell roofs for a split, and that's what they do. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 people in the office calling on back ends, ordering materials, doing supplements. I just need my guys to sign the roof, get it approved, put it in AccuLinks, and sign another one. So no, they're not doing anything. I know other companies. You know, you're not. It's a 10-50-50 split for us. I don't. Other people, whatever they do is what they do. My job is to install the roof and warranty the roof. Their job's to sell it. So, that's the split.
Love it. Visionary Home Exteriors ask, do you guys think roofers will push to use social media more as the TikTok vlog culture grows? And Ray, do you do any commercial jobs, or is it strictly residential? So let's do one by one. Social media, TikTok vlogs.
Yeah,
you're pretty big on TikTok.
Yeah, I got some people on TikTok.
Are you getting jobs from it?
I'm not getting. I haven't even looked at the comments because my TikTok has been like just rampant. I haven't slowed down to look at any of the stuff on TikTok. There might be people asking for roof inspections in there. I haven't looked at it. I haven't even looked at some of the comments. I probably looked at the comments for about 2 hours the whole time. But those videos went viral so bad, and I just had another one hit 1 million this morning from another video I posted. No, I think breeding the culture on social media is what you're doing outside of roofing, to be honest with you, which is, I guess, is a different concept than most people. We promote a healthy, physical, lifestyle outside of roofing, like, mountain bike racing, gym, bodybuilding, running, cycling, mountain climbing. We got people that do marathons across the whole, world, ultra marathons that work with us. That's the only culture that we promote outside. I don't drink. I haven't drank in 11 years. Neither my business partner hadn't drunk in 12 years. Another one hadn't drank in 13 years. So yeah, we don't. I mean, I know other companies that rent islands and yachts and stuff.
I want to address it. Guys, listen up and give it a like. If you like this topic, give it a like so more people can see it. Here's what I want to say about building culture online on social. There is nothing wrong with building big companies. I don't care if it's 20 million, 40, 50, 100. You define what's big for you. But here's what I do see. I see like where the hate is coming from. Hate is usually coming from when you exploit others, when you take advantage of others. And I want to make a statement. Like, I want to be careful. I want to be politically correct because I don't want to offend anyone. But your body is part of your brand. What I see in the roofing industry, there's a lot of people who don't care how they look. Let's call it, they like to eat, they go to fancy restaurants, they post, and I see like leaders in the industry, like guys who are doing well, running companies. What's happening online, and I've seen it even 2 weeks ago. I published a picture with one of the guys, and I see comments like, this guy's fat. Do you believe that he could do a roof, right? I want you to really think about your body image. What do you do? What kind of content you create? Because people will judge you whether you want it or not. Maybe you have a disease, maybe you have like fat people, what do they usually have,
I don't know the lack of energy. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
well,
2022,
there is genetics, but there's also habits.
right,
When you publish that you're drinking, Coke in the morning and
right,
health, like people will know that it's probably not genetics, you just freaking like to eat. And when all your content is about fun jokes, you're just not going to get respect. You're not going to be a respectful roofer. Like for example, Eustace Roofing, right? Like he likes racing. You like biking, like gym guys. Stuff like that gets respect.
right.
Anything to improve yourself. Here's what I see that guys are doing wrong on TikTok, roofers. You know, you making fun of yourself or other people, you trying to pick up stupid TikTok trends, has nothing to do with the roofing. And I don't want to hate on you, but I worry about your brand. You building construction brand being obese and like to eat.
Yeah.
What do you think your crews will think about you? What kind of culture you create when you do
Right.
that?
Well, what kind of discipline are you teaching your
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, you want your sales guys to go knock 100 doors. You can't knock 5 without, falling out. So I mean, you can't hide your discipline behind closed doors in public. That's what I always tell people.
But what's truly happening is those crews, because I've been on a crew. I remember, installing siding, having sales guy coming in or business owner coming in. We'll all talk. Construction workers, they'll talk behind your back, especially if they're foreigners. They're gonna talk in their language. They're gonna have you nickname, right? So if you cannot arrive on a job site and help them unload that pallet without being out of breath, I
Oh yeah.
always wanted to earn the respect of my guys. My guys knew that if pallet has to go on the roof, I'm doing it with them, like together.
Oh man, I got one of my guys, David Hose. I think he made probably 160 grand in the last 2 months. He might get on me for saying this live, but he's killing it. But dude, you pull up on a job, he'll be building a 120 square house, and he is loading the lativator.
Oh,
He's loading the lativator,
that
and
that
he is killing it.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
But my point about the whole TikTok thing is be very mindful of every image. And if you just like having fun, because who is watching it? I mean, it's your employees, it's your workers, it's your crews. And if you're just this guy who, living the dream, but not working, or they don't believe that you're capable of doing the work, I'm sorry, but sooner or later they're gonna be competing with you.
Every time. That's every time. That's common
Nobody,
knowledge.
nobody wants to
Yeah.
work for a guy who
No,
cannot.
you don't. You see, you're the only one winning, and when you're winning, all you're doing is eating expensive dinners, going to islands, partying, showing your cars. Now I've showed a couple of my cars, but it's not, not on a daily basis or nothing. I actually haven't showed any in months and months and months now. But I quit that, or even over a year now. But but I'm out there on the roof with you. I'm freezing cold, or I'm sweaty with you. But yeah, no, look, and they want to show the vacations while their guys are out knocking doors or climbing roofs, and you're in, Tahiti or whatever or
Mhm.
wherever, and sitting on the beach and this and that, man. You got to be, you need to be more involved. It's a team, man. It's a
And
team atmosphere.
and if you're filming it, because I do see those comments, and I'm very sensitive to consumer behavior. I see where, I'm sorry to say it, but when a fat guy goes on the roof, pretends like he's a roofer, especially when you're trying to create a hashtag that you're a roofer,
Yeah.
people are gonna call you out. Like you're not a roofer. Like
Right. Right.
actually learn how to roof. Actually learn how to be believable, or
Right.
film someone else.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, I'm all the time. I mean, I tag like roofing. I put $1 million roofing salesmen or roofers of TikTok and everything, and that's the same thing with me. I'm physically able to do whatever, even at 45 years old. But I even tell the homeowners, I'm not I'm here.
Not the one who's gonna do the
I'm
job.
not, and I don't know that much about it. I'm here to get your roof approved and pick colors with you. Once it does that, everybody has their position here. I said it goes to my other business partner in production and Bobby in the office, and they get into production. And after I get your check in your hand, my job's done. I don't do it all myself. This is a big team.
That's why we call it a company. And also, I want to give you guys piece of advice. do not judge if you're working with your hands. Do not judge your sales person or person in the office. Maybe for me, it's called company. Like girl in the office is will have one of the most important position in business. How she answers phone calls, how she spells that email. I don't know how to spell emails. Like I'm gonna hire someone to do it. Nobody have can outwork the business owner, but everybody in their position should be better than business owner in what they do. And while you're great with a hammer on a roof, the business owner also hired great sales rep, so you have jobs, great receptionist, so the sales rep have leads. Everyone has their role. And if I'm a marketing guy, if I don't do good job, nothing will work.
No, I mean we have, and some of the top people here have had their own companies, and they're back here working with us
Mhm.
because nobody works for us. We all just work together. It's a profit share, and they understand for one person to do $2 or $3 million, in roofing, it requires a team that's
Absolutely.
they're gonna wear themselves to death. It's a whole team to like. If you think one person's gonna come and just do $20 million in sales and have this and have that, you probably can, but you're gonna run yourself sick, dude. You're gonna burn yourself out. It takes a whole team to do, upwards of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, $100 million. And that's why I tell people all the time, quit getting caught up on who owns the company and the owners this and the owners. If the owners are doing what they're supposed to be doing, don't worry about what they're doing. It takes a lot. It's better be one of the people part of $100 million team than you try and do it all by yourself and do $1 million.
Love it. Todd, hold on.
That's my business partner.
Todd Price.
Yeah.
He said, "How you take care of your body is a direct representation of how you'll take care of everything else." Same saying, right? Like how you do anything is how you do everything. And this is why, for me, our social media content matters, because when you post stupid video on TikTok, it tells me a lot about why did you pick that topic, why exactly you do. Like I don't want to create content that's not valuable to me. Like I create
Right.
content that I like to consume. I like product reviews, I'm going to review product. I like product comparison, I will review that. I like when someone calls out bullshitter. Like I love scam alerts.
Right.
Like I love
Yeah.
watching, like American Greed and stuff.
Right.
That's why I created content.
Right. If you don't respect yourself, how are you going to respect the person sitting in front of you? I mean, it's simple. We're not. This isn't. This isn't a science project. If somebody can't take care of themselves and they're not disciplined on their own time, how are they going to do? How are they going to be disciplined or have self respect? How can they even respect you at your position at the company if they can't respect themselves? How can they be disciplined with money if they can't be disciplined with food? I mean, me and you probably could go on 10 hours about it, but
Sure.
I mean, dude, it's a full like
I'll just leave it at this. Taking care of your body has the highest return
on investment.
an investment,
Yeah.
period. Like you cannot spend more. I mean, people ask me all the time, why do I work out as much? Because it's the highest return on investment. I feel the greatest. Like I actually feel the benefit every single day.
Oh yeah, and it's another thing is, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't take advice from people I don't wouldn't trade places with. They're like, well, time, your time, you just work all the time and everything. But well, what am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be spending time with low energy people? Am I supposed to have a favorite show on Netflix? Am I supposed to have a bag of chips and a 6-pack of beer on my side? Is that supposed to be my balance? What is
People
what
who
is your
work
balance?
people who work the hardest, they're the happiest people. Comment if you agree. People who work the hardest, they're the happiest. I've never met a person who likes what they're doing, of course. I mean, if you're miserable in a factory and hate your job, get a better job. But most of people that I admire, they work 50, 60 hours a week. They love what they're doing and they're happy. They're never tired.
Well, that's the same thing as if you got 3 kids and a wife and that was your journey. Well, that's great. That's awesome for you. I don't. I get my kid every other weekend. That's not my journey. This is my journey. I wanted a fast-paced lifestyle. I came from a fast-paced lifestyle. My dad lived a fast-paced lifestyle. That wasn't my journey, so don't judge my journey, right? I'm providing for other people,
Mhm.
for their families and stuff too. That's just not my journey. My journey and your journey. There's 2 types of dads. There's one dad that wants to coach and be at every T-ball game. I'm the dad that just wants to sponsor the team and put the banner up.
Love it.
There's just two types of people, dude.
Love it. Ivan Perdomo, hope I did not butcher it. What's the best technology you have added to your business that has helped your business?
AccuLinks.
AccuLinks?
AccuLinks made us scale and grow where we could be in 4 states at the same time and doing production in Roof Hub. So that's hands down. Hands down. I mean,
Love it. Dmitry, remember New England got hit with that storm 2014, 2015, 6 inch of snow on everybody's roof. Ice dams caused everybody's roof to leak. Yes, I do remember that. That was awesome. By the way, we have ice dams forming right now, something you probably will never see in Atlanta. But ice dams, I mean, if you want to understand anatomy of a roof, you need to study ice dams.
right.
There's so many people out there, especially sales guys, who don't understand the water flow. They don't understand the flashing. They go inspect the roofs, but they cannot sell repair. You'll
Yeah.
see chimney leaking, and you're like, why is it leaking? That's
And-
where immaturity is coming from. You have to still be an expert in what you do. You have to understand.
or have somebody to call that can show up and do it. I'm not, and I'm guilty as charged on live TV. I'm not an expert on roofing systems. I am expert on
Insurance claims.
That's right.
But you have someone on your team in your business.
They're on there. Todd is on there. Lance is probably watching somewhere on there.
But see, you're putting your name and your money
on them.
How many insurance, how many warranties you have right now?
Right at 10,000.
See, that's what matters.
Right.
10,000 roofs. It's it will pay if they leak.
Every time it rains, I look at my phone.
That's what's.
And we only had 3 leaks. It rained 4 days last week, and we had 3 leaks. So that's what I tell the guys. It just sucks when it's their roof. And I'm telling them, look, guys, we got 10,000. I hate that it's one of y'all's 3 customers because it's like the end of the world to them. But I'm like, dude, we're doing pretty good. So, but we'll get it took care of.
Love it. We have another question. Miguel Roofing is asking, what do you recommend for training and continued education on insurance claims? What kind of training you provide to your guys?
I'll send them your link. Just send them your link. No, I mean,
I don't
content.
do that training.
Yeah. No, I mean, just content, man. Just content and real life experience. If you're the expert at your company, getting them on as many roofs as you can. That's another thing the one reason that guys don't have aren't successful at breeding other winners, duplicating themselves. You have to, like, if I got 2 guys getting in a truck for me to train on Monday, which happens a lot, what are we going to get on? You got to keep selling, man. I can't say
that's the best training.
Right. What are you going to do? Hey, we show up Monday morning. I got 2 new guys. I've met them one time in the office. You got to get on something. You see what I'm saying? So that's the whole cycle, you got to, it's real life experiences.
Here's my answer. I always say that there's nothing that you can teach, but everything you can learn. I can teach you, I can put a course together, but if you cannot study and learn, it's useless. Like in the same class, in the same university, you're going to have people who become billionaires and maybe homeless.
Right.
You're the difference. Today, there's abundance information on YouTube, on Facebook. You have to pick, you probably have a screen time of a couple hours per day. Are you on YouTube? But what are you watching? Like, I'm listening podcasts.
Right.
Like, I like music and stuff, but I'm listening podcasts every day.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated. Like, if you can reverse engineer absolutely anything, there's, guys who are doing $100 million and you can follow them. And most likely, if you really follow them, you'll get access to them and you can ask them a question, but you have to be hungry for it.
Yeah, I'm podcast all day long. I'm knowledge. The only time I listen to music, man, I'm gonna be honest with you, with my kids in the car. And it's something like country music, something that doesn't have no hidden agenda behind it or something. It's something.
There's secret agenda everywhere.
To everything, yeah. But I'm more kid friendly. But that's the only time I listen to music. I'm overloaded information. I can barely read and write. I'm dyslexic, so I started learning when this technology did kick on. You see what I'm saying? Because I probably couldn't read. I mean, I probably read at a 5th or 6th grade level now. but you know, I have lawyers and people that help me and everything else. But you know, I can watch whatever, and that's why I'm good at roofing too, because I can watch. I know the damages, and then all the information is through video. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Everything is hands on. Like I said, I wasn't a big. I mean, I graduated high school and I have a paralegal degree, but dude, that's you're talking about barely making it. You know, like I probably should have been in special education, but I'm 45 years old, and they didn't know about dyslexia like they know now. You know, so all mine is from seeing and talking. I can barely
But
some.
that's the best. YouTube in
Yeah,
university is
yeah,
so
it's the
powerful.
best.
You can find absolutely anything about anything.
Right.
Honestly, like I'm building, directory, like billion-dollar company now, and I've studied, Home Advisors, Angels List. I listen to, I mean, think about this. So I'm building a platform and I'm reverse engineering how they build platforms. I mean, you can go, like, check this out. You can go and find any publicly traded company. Like I did it for Home Advisor for 5 years. And you can listen to their, how they report to investors.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like I forgot how you call that call.
Like open files.
Well, it's open file, but where CEO of the company will be reporting to investors.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah,
Like it's like
yeah.
1 hour every quarter.
Right, right. It's documented time. I know
Yeah,
exactly what you're
it's
talking
insane. You provide because it's publicly traded company,
about.
so
Right,
you can get that information. That's why I will never become a publicly traded company, because
right,
but the simple fact that you can log in, find out 1 hour call how CEO of Home Advisor or Angels List or whatever reports to their investors. Like I remember 2018, I'm listening to the phone call and Home Advisor went to shit that year, and I was making some content about it. That's why I was digging in, and I was already having concept of directory. So I'm studying all of this. I studied like Thumbtack, for example. One of the platforms. Google invested $150 million in 2017 in Thumbtack. So like, okay, why are they doing it? So it's
right.
all public information. And I remember Google punished Home Advisor like badly, because Home Advisor used to be on the front page, first page of Google in every search.
Oh, okay.
And then it went from 80% of their business to 20% of their business. And Google started competing with them. That's how Google Guarantee
Oh,
came about. And I remember on that corporate call, one of the investors asking, like, hey, how come you guys screwed up with Google so bad and they punished you? I think what happened is Google realized how bad Home Advisor was. They didn't want to, I mean, they have class action lawsuit, state of California sued them. So Google is like, we don't want to be part of it. Now
right,
we're going to punish them. And they said, the investor said it was amateur mistake, but Home Advisor is not amateur company. Explain yourself.
right,
And I'm listening. I'm like, they're done.
right.
Like, and if you watch their stock now, dropped like 80% this year alone. So what I'm trying to say is you can study the market, you can reverse
Man,
engineer.
yeah. If you're in touch with your guys too, you know what's. I mean, you know what's going on out there. If you're on the group me, like we use group me, man, we learn from each other every day. So it's just
Mhm.
a revolving door of information. Plus, I have two main business partners, and I have a couple market owners in different states. And dude, I mean, like it's all just a big accountability circle of information, man. It's
But you have to shut down the noise to get to it. I see a lot
yeah,
of guys are fighting over. I mean, like, I'll give you an example. When war in Ukraine started, you know how many roofers were arguing with me that there's no war in Ukraine?
oh, that's wild. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah, like
wild. Yeah,
like John Paramore,
and
like,
doing it on Facebook.
yeah, John Paramore made like 5 posts in a row. I think he blocked like, I don't know, 50 people within like 3 hours. Like, oh, anybody who believes there's war in Ukraine are stupid.
Right.
I'm like, are you kidding me? That's what you're using Facebook
Yeah,
for, like, to offend people? Like,
and run off half your
supposed
customers.
to be teaching and spreading, like, like block down. Like,
Yeah,
you're the idiot one. You owe apology to every Ukrainian and Russian who you offended,
yeah,
and he deletes all the posts. Like,
and then you just ran off half your customer base that didn't believe the way you did on Facebook for nothing.
it's dumb.
If you, yeah,
Instead of learning and contributing and actually being smart, you doing this crap.
I mean, you know what? You know, I have my opinions about a lot of stuff. You won't find any of them on Facebook ever about politics, about no nothing. I'm not running my customer base off. If I feel passionately about something like I do about kids not
How do
eating,
you consume news though?
huh?
Do you watch news? Do you follow news?
No, I don't. not on. That's not my journey right now. I mean,
How do you build? Here's my question: how do you build a rapport with a customer? Like, do you have icebreaker when you meet someone? Do you try to find common ground?
yeah, I look at their vehicles. I look at the front tag on their vehicle, see what sports team they like. If I'm doing the contract in their living room and they got the news on, if it's on CNN, I love Biden. If it's on Fox News, I love Trump. I'm here to sell you a roof. I'm
So
not here to change your mind.
You're a chameleon.
I'm a chameleon when it comes to sales. That it doesn't affect me. You know, I'm not here to change the world. I'm here to sell you a roof.
Well,
If
I
I
love that quote. I'm not here to change the world. I'm here to sell the roof.
that's it. I mean, you know, what am I going to sit there and debate with you about? You know, yeah, I don't care.
All right. So Ivan Perdomo says, I want to take Jeff out to lunch when he gets back to Atlanta, looking for great leadership in Atlanta. You got to offer for lunch.
Oh yeah, I guess yeah. You got me mixed up with the homeowner, but yeah, I got you. Yeah, let me know.
Okay. How do you handle client that want to take you out of the roof? Hold on. How do you handle client that want to take you out of the roof is approved? Oh, I guess when roof gets approved,
And they want to estimate.
yeah, they want to estimate.
That's the worst feeling in the world, especially if it's got a lot of squares involved.
Do you take deductible first? Like, do any money before you do?
Nah, I mean, I just tell them this. I mean, basically, I mean, I've been out selling for a minute now, and a lot of my stuff's referrals. I just say, basically, it's just a handshake. If I get your roof approved, obviously, I'm the one that's going to put it on. Is that a deal? And it's not a C1 or no nothing. You know,
How often does it happen though?
it happens a lot to my rookie year salespeople. And then I tell them, they'll have 5 in a row. I said, something you're saying something where you're not building the rapport with the way this business transaction's going. Just total transparency at the beginning. You know, the only way I get paid is when I get the second check from the insurance. So if I'm gonna come and climb on your roof and inspect it, and I'm gonna meet the insurance adjuster there, obviously I'm the one that's gonna put it on, and we're gonna do it with insurance proceeds. You know, and that's how. And are we the whole time I'm shaking my head until I see them shake their head? If they don't shake their head, then I'll say, hey, once you do get your roof approved, then let me bid on it. You know, then it turns into a retail job.
And even if you have contingency agreements signed,
it's no good. Yeah, you know,
you can't do nothing.
You can't do anything.
Why do you think people do that? Is it because we did not do our job, or is it because they're shitty and they're trying to pocket insurance money?
I think, and that loops back around. I think that once we get it into being a licensed trade, it'll take all that riffraff out of it, and it'll be more accountability on the homeowner. I think a lot of people, I've heard people talk about building this platform is, you know, when are we going to do the homeowner review? You know how like you got B&B for the companies, we need to do a BB&B for the homeowners. You know, and see what their performance is.
Talks about it and wants it, but
let's do it.
I want to do it.
It'd be hard, but
it's not going to be hard. And I think with something like directory or Angels List, like it used to be, you definitely can. But what's the point? I mean, for me,
once you get the government more involved in the licensing process, you'll take that out of it. So that's what guys got to realize, guys and girls that are business owners. They got to realize we got to get this in, get it out of the wild, wild west and get some uniform in it, or this is going to happen. You know, I think that comes with that. I think that comes with,
I mean, I think instead of trying to review customers, what you can do, you can search reviews of the customer. Like if they wrote 70, I have one negative review on Yelp. That lady wrote 78 reviews. 78, and like 30% of them were bad.
If you tell them, you know, profit from an insurance claim in the state of Georgia, you know, is against the law, it's a felony, says waiving the deductibles. I mean, you know, you can go that whole route, but then you don't cross the line where you're, you know, convicting them as a criminal. I don't know, man. You know, for every situation, you know, you figure out what's best for you and your business model. That's what all I say is, you know, if it's 100 squares and they're going to turn their COC in, build it.
Okay. Next question is, why would salespeople on this, because you do splits, why would they work for you versus go on their own? Because they're already doing all the job. Like, what do you provide? What leverage do you have?
Well, that's the difference. That they don't do any of that. But most companies, they do.
Yeah.
They don't. All they're doing is taking pictures and uploading it.
But is it, you know, how do you determine like what's the best path for you? What kind of character assignment you do? Like how do you figure out if it's a good fit for salespeople versus I'm just training my competition with this guy.
Early on, I think letting them ride with you for a certain amount of time. You'll figure out the questions that they are asking. Um, you know, right now, like we're not hiring. We're full.
You're not hiring.
No, I haven't been hiring in a while. I'll take a seasoned veteran, but I'm not. I can't make you come from Home Depot or QT or Wendy's or McDonald's and turn you into a roofer.
How
Man,
how long would they take if you have talent from Home Depot or QT? How long does it take to turn someone into sales rep?
uh, well now, it takes a while, man. It takes a while to fit in at our culture. So what I do now is, they'll go to a team member that will make them into pretty much a canvasser, and they'll work up under them with an override. Like one of my top guys will have 3 or 4 people up under them. Those people now will go, they're bringing people on. They're not coming to work with me. Nobody else is getting my phone number.
So you would rather hire seasoned that from someone else from another company than train brand new.
Yeah. So if they're coming on brand new, you're not coming up under Raymond, you're coming up under somebody that's already here. And then they get an
Sure.
override on them. Nobody else is getting my phone number besides you.
Got it.
You know what I mean? Like I don't hand my phone number is not going out to the low end rep.
What about new markets when you go to Florida or you decide to open new location? What is your
Yeah, I mean, I
strategy?
plan on going back to Dallas this year, or back to Texas, to Maryland, to South Carolina this year. I mean, my guys, I'm gonna
So
see,
they're gonna travel with you.
yeah, I'm done, with outside. You know what I mean? That's their turn to turn the.
So now they multiply.
Now they're multiplying. I mean, they're winners already, and they're mature enough in the situation now to duplicate other winners. Like I said, man, to be honest with you, if you have a perimeter roofing shirt on in the Atlanta market, there's people in their DMs because my 20th place guy can go out and outsell 98% of the companies in the state of Georgia. I got guys that are selling by themselves what whole companies do, so they headhunt my guys all the time, but it is what it is. My guys are good enough where they can build teams up under them. They get overrides on them. They're not capped out. If one of my guys wants to go to Nevada and start a roofing company, then we support it if they're already here.
Love it. Let's finish on the marketing. You started with the Facebook, DMing everyone. It's number one lead gen for you. What works in the Facebook today? Like what videos? Like, are you training everybody to build their own brands, or you do it for everyone as a company?
Yeah, and I think when you say you have a phenomenal team, I do have a phenomenal team, but every one of them are phenomenal individuals. So they wouldn't be here if I didn't want them to rep the brand. So I do make them their own brand. Their characters, their brand. Like I said, we're not. If somebody's here partying and getting DUIs and domestic violence and this and that every week, they're not going to be here. We're going to no longer need their services. So, yeah, I highly suggest that they build their own brand with
Do you
us
teach
supporting
them?
them.
Do you teach them? Do you guys have a
We
common
yeah,
strategy?
we do it in the office. Yeah, we show them what we when our subcontractor agreement's a lot different than a lot of other people's. I mean, it has social media clauses and stuff in it.
Love it. Facebook. What else? Instagram. You haven't mentioned
Yeah,
Instagram.
Instagram. I'm sure you did your studies. There's studies on Instagram. There's not a lot of homeowners on Instagram. More
Mhm.
renters.
Yeah.
More people that aren't homeowners. To say it in so many words. Facebook is our generation. It is homeowners, that people that own homes, that age bracket. The other, even TikTok, Instagram, and other ones. Do the research. It's just, I mean, we do it just to do it, but that's not where your homeowner's looking.
Do you do a lot of paid ads as well?
We do now. Yeah, we do now. I mean, we spend about $500,000 a year in marketing. Yeah, I'm down for I eat up everything, man. Google Maps. I mean, I'm down with everything. The landing pages. We're down.
Next door?
Not next door.
Not next door.
Mm-mm.
Uh, how big are you in TikTok and your team?
Not we're not that big. I mean, yeah, I do my TikTok and I just did it with the videos, and mine has a pretty good following. But yeah, we not really a lead gen situation. Basically,
Just exposure.
just exposure and something to look at. Stimulate gets endorphins rolling with all the likes and stuff. So.
At least he's honest about it. What's your biggest challenge at a 40 million size?
What are you going to do next year?
That's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, 25 to 40. What are you going to do next year? In which we already have a plan, but that's what I was saying. Todd has his position. Lance has his position. Lance builds the roofs. Todd runs the admin and the office situation. And he does the Facebook. He does the digital side of it. And my job is to run the sales team to bring the checks in the office. So it's a lot of responsibility. We haven't went backwards 1 year yet. So it's like, hey, you did 40 million this year. I kind of wish we would have did like 30, this year, so that I could have did like 32, 35. It's just hard to go from 25 to 40, and then you're gonna have to, I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to not.
But you can go backwards if you're more efficient. Like if you did 40, you can do 40. And do you feel like you can become more efficient at the same size? So let's say you did 40 and let's say 10% net, and now you do 40 and you do 12% net. I mean, that 2% is huge. It equals to like 45.
I think it does, but I think our journey now is to the 80 to 100 million, and no matter what, whatever the
Wherever the bottom line
whatever
is.
the bottom line is.
Oh, hate is coming. Hate is coming. Open the doors.
I think where I'm at, and where I'm at with my team. I'm super involved in all my guys' lives. Like our goals and stuff as a unit. Yeah, I mean we're also friends. A lot of my guys, have been with me 20 years. We've been friends 20 years. So these aren't people I don't know. But the top 10 people, I think I've known every one of them for over 10 years. I have to look, but there's not many I haven't. I've known more for 20 years than I've known. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I've been with these people since high school, in all walks of life.
So you're truly chasing the revenue.
Yeah, I am, and at 5 years, I'm chasing the revenue in the aspect that the guys that are here now, guys and girls that are here now, will have teams up under them, and with no cap out. And then pretty much at 50 years old, that's what I got. And I don't.
So your retirement plan?
Well, I'm just not interested in scaling and getting on airplanes and, just running all over the world and climbing roofs in 4, 5, 6 different states. And, I think that's I have young guys here. And I have guys that are, that work with me, out in the field. And it's time for them to get some skin in the game and run teams and for me to take a smaller role eventually. I don't want to climb after 50. Won't be no need for it.
Let me check messages here, make sure I don't miss anything. Hold on. Joe Wallace is asking, homeowner has 3-tab roof and gets approved by insurance. Do you sell upgrades or automatically upgrade to architectural?
Automatically upgrade to architectural.
Because it's easier.
Yeah, well, you don't want to be the one guy on the street that's putting the 3-tab on. What's your referrals look like then? You know what I mean? Plus, the company rather warranty a architectural roof.
Is it giving away something for free though?
I don't feel like it is. I feel like you're doing what's best for the homeowner. Now, if you're going from one architectural to like a impact resistant, and you're going to like a designer shingle, that's where you need to sell your upgrade at. But the upgrade now from a strip shingle, which is a 3-tab shingle, to an architectural shingle should be a automatic situation. As far as, like I said, if there's 30 houses on that street and you're the only company that put a 3-tab on, are they going to ask who they used? I mean,
got it. Last question: the best place to find crews?
I can't even answer that question.
Facebook?
I don't think so. Unless you're going to use them on your own house first. I mean, I'm so blessed to never had that situation, because my business partner, that's what he did. He's always ran crews. He wasn't in sales. He was never a sales rep. He was never in that. He was straight construction. He did the installs for multiple $1 million companies, multi-million-dollar companies in the Atlanta area. He did all the installs. He did our installs on the high-end stuff, and I partnered with him when we started Perimeter Roofing, and I've been truly blessed not to have to worry about labor. I've been blessed in my situation to where I haven't had to deal with. I mean, all I do is run the sales team. I mean, Todd and Lance are phenomenal partners, and that's why I want to also say is, like, everybody says partnerships are hard. I mean, yeah, they're hard, but you know what? Doing it all by yourself is even harder. So, you know,
I mean, I'd rather wear my hat and stay in my lane than wear all the hats. What's your favorite hat that you wear? So you're responsible for mainly sales, marketing.
And then setting up, like, I went to Nashville with Jay Carver. He went up there by himself. I mean, at 20 something years old. He's a phenomenal young man. Andrew, he went left, and so him and his brother went up there, and I came on the weekends, and we were knocking doors and selling roofs, and they were living out of a microtel. That's how that market started. They went and sold solar, shot their shot, tried to kill it. They did kill it in solar. Decided that roofing was a thing.
Do you guys do solar?
Yeah, we do some. We just don't do a lot. I mean, we offer it. They came back, and they're back in Nashville, you know, and they're phenomenal individuals. But yeah, we opened up that market together. And then I went down and opened up the Columbus market with a partner I had down there. And then yeah, Florida, flew back and forth. So that's my hat. You know, if we open up a new market, you know, I'll take the guys or girls, and we go knock doors, and we set it up, and we get the AccuLinks rolling and get production going, and I fly home, and there it is.
Oh,
So,
well, this was a blast. Lots of questions. Thank you guys for your attention. Comment below what you think, and I'll see you in the next episode.